Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone, wherever you're at in the world. Welcome to Last Raps Baseball's live commentary of the Nippon Professional Baseball League. Tonight, we are bringing you the matchup, second game of the series between the Saitama Seibu Lions and the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham Fighters. Last night, it was the Lions winning the opener in the series with a 5-3 victory over the Fighters. Behind Yutaro Watanabe, who improved his record to 1-2. It was Kenta Uhara who took the loss. He fell to 1-1, and it was Hekua Iwaki, who picked up that save last night for the Lions, as they have themselves a half-game lead over the Chipotle Marines out of last place in the Pacific League. The Fighters, surprisingly, stumbling out of the gates. They picked it up a little bit, and they have stumbled yet again. They are 8-10. They are 2 games below 500, and they are currently positioned 4th in the Pacific League, as the Hawks are leading the way with the Buffaloes and Eagles to follow. So a little bit of a early surprising start. Eagles are flapping their wings, playing good ball. Fighters struggling a bit. At the end of the year, we expect that the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham Fighters will be in that top 3 position in the Pacific League. We're going to give you the starting lineups. First of all, tonight for the visitors from Tokorozawa, it's the Saitama Seibu Lions. Leading off and in left field tonight is number 7, Masayuki Kuwahara. Batting second at shortstop is number 6, Sosuke Genda. In the third spot and doing the catching is number 10, Taiga Kojima. In the cleanup spot and doing designated hitting is number 73, Anko Lin. Batting fifth at third base is number 32, that is Takayoshi Yamamura. Hitting in the sixth spot and playing first base is number 63, Shinya Hasegawa. Batting seventh in right field is number 25, Alexander Canario. Hitting eighth in center field is number 35, Shun Akiyama. And batting ninth and playing second base is number 62, Natsuo Takazawa. And they're going to be facing the ace of the staff for the Fighters. It's Hiromi Ito. And Hiromi Ito has struggled a little bit out of the gate in 3 starts. He is 1-1. He's worked 17 and a third innings, allowing 20 hits, 11 runs, 11 which have been earned, walking 4 and striking out 14, pitching to a fluffed-up ERA of 5.71. Well, that's your starting lineup for the Lions. Now your starting lineup for the home team, the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham Fighters. Leading off tonight and in left field is number 53, Shun Mizutani. Batting second and playing first base, number 21, Kotaro Kiyomiya. Hitting third and doing designated hitting is number 99, Franmilo Reyes. The cleanup spot playing third base is number 3, Yuya Gunji. Batting fifth in right field is number 66, Chusei Manami. Hitting in the sixth spot and playing second base is number 58, Taiki Narama. Batting seventh at shortstop is number 54, Shu Yamagata. Batting eighth in center field is number 50, Ryo Isobata. And batting ninth doing the catching is number 64, Yua Tamiya. And they're going to be facing Natsuki Takachi, who is going to take to the hill tonight for the Lions, as he is bringing his 1-1 record to the mound, working 19 innings, allowing 13 hits, 5 runs, all of which have been earned, walking 2 and striking out 14, all while pitching to a 2.37 ERA. It is Lions and Fighters. When we come back in just a couple of moments, we appreciate you guys for popping in on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Those are your lineups, and we'll be back in just a couple of moments right after this time out.
Hello, this is Eric Fox, formerly of the Oakland A's and Texas Rangers baseball teams. If you want to learn about Japanese baseball, see Coach Fred of Last Raps Baseball. If you want baseball instruction, see Coach Fred. If you want to learn about golf, do not go to Coach Fred. Fred, what kind of club is this?
At Last Raps Baseball, we know
baseball. Welcome in, everybody. It is the Lions and the Fighters from Hokkaido as the Fighters have taken to the field. The tune-up tosses are ready to happen here for Hiromi Ito. We are still about, I'd say, 60 seconds away from the first pitch of the ball game. It'll be Masayuki Kuwahara, Sosuke Genda, and Taiga Kojima to come to bat here for the Lions to get things going in their top half of inning number 1. As Ito is taking to the hill. Ito, one of the two players that is speculated that will be posted to Major League Baseball for the 2027 season. Ito and Teruyuki Sato of the Hanshin Tigers are the two that are expected to be posted, but that'll depend on what kind of year that Ito has here. If he goes out and posts up a bunch of lemons, there may not be anybody who may want to touch him in the 2027 season in the MLB. So Ito has taken to the hill. He's going to get his tune-up tosses going. The Fighters tonight are going to be in their all blacks with the teal trim, as well as a little bit of dash of white in there with it. The Lions are going to be in their road blue tops with the white pants, and that is how this will shape up. Well, it is the other thing that we've been doing in this year's stream so that when people come onto the stream, and we can always point them back to the beginning, or at least where they can go and find it. And we'll tell them tonight that they can go to the 8-minute mark, because we're going to tell you where you can watch this game live, or at least, if not live, on TV. On TV tonight, it's on Sapporo Television 1. It is Gaora Sports as well. If you're doing the online streaming, you can check out DAZN, Rakuten TV, and Baseball Live. As both of these teams here are ready to go head-to-head for Game 2 of their series. They did have a couple of exhibition games as the Lions split with the Fighters as they had played at Escon Field. It was a 4-3 victory for the Lions back in March the 5th. March the 4th, it was the Fighters beating the Lions 2-0. It's been the head-to-head in the month of March. And, of course, last night it was a 5-3 victory for the Lions in this game here. So Ito is just completing his tune-up tosses, and we are ready to get this one underway as the hitter Kuwahara steps into the batter's box, as he will be ready to face the first offering from the right-hander here as we get going. The first time of the first pitch is going to be at 2:02 local time as Ito kicks and delivers, and it is a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is quickly 0-1 to Kuwahara. Kuwahara hitting .316 on the year, a couple of homers and 6 runs batted in. Batting from the right side, he came over from the Yokohama DNA Bay Stars, and he has slotted in nicely right at the top of the batting order as the pitch all the way as a fastball swung on and lifted foul over onto the first base side, and now he finds himself in the hole at 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. Our friend Samurai Prayer in the house He says, peace and blessings to you from sunny Osaka City. We're glad you can make it in tonight, as it is a beautiful day there, and it was a beautiful but brisk day here as well. Here comes the 0-2 pitch to Kuwahara as the right-hander Ito delivers a breaking ball that ends up in the left-handed batter's box, and the count goes to 1-2 on Kuwahara. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. We will do the same 2 teams tomorrow night. It'll be an hour earlier start, so 9 o'clock Pacific, midnight Eastern, if you are listening in or so inclined to do so. As we hopefully you guys can make it back in for another tour as the right-hander kicks and delivers. There's another breaking ball missing in the left-handed batter's box. The count now goes to 2-2. Kuwahara gets himself set back in the box as Ito checks the sign from his catcher, Tamiya. He works himself into that set position, and here comes the 2-2. Fastball, taken for a called third strike. Kuwahara, you could tell with his body language, he didn't like that call. The 2 breaking balls that missed in the left-handed batter's box, I think he has a feeling that that one has missed as well. I got to say that Ito hit his spot. It didn't look like it was off the outside corner, but nevertheless, some home cooking there for Ito as Kuwahara is retired for the first out of the inning, and that's going to bring up the shortstop in Sosuke Genda. Well, for Genda, he's hitting 226 in the early going. He's got no homers and 5 runs batted in. Batting from the left side here against the right-handed throwing Ito as he works himself into the set position, pitching from the stretch with nobody on. And the pitch is a splitter that misses down, and the count is 1-0. Defensively tonight for the Fighters, from left to right field, it's Mizutani in left. The center fielder is Isobata, and in right field, it is Manami. Around the horn from first to third, Kiyomiya at first. The second baseman tonight, it is Narama, with Yamagata at short and the third baseman Gunji, as that pitch bounces up to the plate and the count goes to 2-0. Of course, the battery of Ito and Tamiya. So 2 balls and no strikes. Ito delivers. It's a fastball taken at the knees for called strike, and the count is 2-1. And taking all the way on that one. Yeah, pretty good with the bat, and he also can drop down the sacrifice bunts as needed in situations. They like him up in the 2-hole. There's a fastball swung on, lined into left field, past the glove of the third baseman, Gunji, and that is going to be a base hit here for Genda, as he is aboard with a 1-out single, and that'll bring up the catcher in Taiga Kojima. Well, for Kojima, getting 259 in the early going, 2 homers and 4 RBIs. He was the top pick in the 2025 NPB draft. You have to wonder, so the players like Yuta Koga and others are going to see their playing time start to decline. The left-handed stick, 14 for 54 to begin his NPB career with a couple homers and 4 RBIs. He has a lanky standing left-handed hitting catcher as that pitch misses upstairs. The count is 1-0. You got to wonder if he could swing the bat a little bit. Maybe they pull him out from behind the plate. Maybe they don't waste his talents back there. Maybe put him at first base or somewhere that they can preserve him. So 1 ball and no strikes as the right-hander kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball missing upstairs. The count is 2-0. One thing I'll say about Ito in the early going here is just the command of his pitches. His misses have been wild. So wild misses. As they throw over to first base, and diving back is Genda. Safely and in time. So already with the 10 pitches here tonight, already has delivered 6 balls. Actually, that's 11 pitches. So 6 balls on 11 pitches for Ito, struggling to find his command. There's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike. Count now goes to 2-1 on Kojima. So 2 balls and 1 strike as the right-hander now steps off the backside and resets himself as he works himself into the set position 2-1 on the way. Kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count now runs to 2-2 on Kojima. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Kojima wearing the number 10 for the Lions. I have to say the Lions in particular have lost a lot of stars over the last number of years. Some of it, obviously, to Major League Baseball, like Shogo Akiyama, or also the pitcher Kikuchi. There's a ball hit softly to second, fielded nicely by the second baseman. They go to second for 1, back to first, and it's going to be offline. So that is going to be a fielder's choice, as Genda is going to be erased. He's gone 4-6. He's gone for out number 2. Kojima safe at first on the trail side. Ball by the shortstop Yamagata was thrown away. I'll have to take a look to see if it ended up getting into the dugout or not. We'll get a look at this one here again on the replay. Nice play there by the shortstop. Ball ended up getting away. So an error, is it a charge? Nope, not an error there. They safe, so it's a fielder's choice. No error on the shortstop, even though he threw the ball away. Nobody advanced. Brings Anko Lin to the plate. The first pitch to Lin is a breaking ball swung on. It's popped up on the infield. It's playable. It's on the left side. Underneath it is Gunji. He's there to make the catch. And that is going to do it, as Lin is retired for out number 3. Well, the Lions, they had a runner in the inning on the base hit by Genda. He was erased. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner left aboard. Your scores, we move to the bottom of the first. It is the Lions, nothing, and the Fighters coming to bat. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with the call in just a couple of moments on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the top of the order. Shin Mizutani, Kataro Kiyomiya, and Franmil Reyes to come to bat for the Fighters here in the bottom half of inning number 1, as they'll be facing the lefty Natsuki Takeuchi here in his first inning of work. Mizutani batting from the right side, stepping in, hitting an even 200 on the season. 1 homer and 3 runs driven in, as he takes a fastball on the outside corner for ball 1. It's quickly 1-0. Mizutani, MVP a couple of seasons ago in the interleague play. That was where he really announced his presence in the NPB, as that fastball swung on and line foul down the right field line. The count even now at 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Fighters yet to get things going here, as they have a very potent offense. There's a fastball that misses down. Count goes to 2-1. Got to get clicking on all cylinders. They have a couple of players that are producing. Obviously, Chusei Manami, one being one. There's a ball that swung on his chop right in front of home plate. It is fielded by the pitcher, Takeuchi, who throws to first, and Mizutani is going to be out on a ground out 1-3. It was like a swinging bunt. So he's gone for the first out. That's going to bring up Kataro Kiyomiya to the plate. Well, for Kiyomiya, hitting 284 on the season, 5 homers and 13 RBIs. He's one of the fighters who is off to a fine start. Left-handed hitting first baseman, as the pitch is a fastball that misses down and away, and the count is 1-0 to Kiyomiya. Kiyomiya with the bright green batting gloves. There's a breaking ball that catches the inside corner for a called strike, and the count goes even to 1-1. Have to tell you, the first pitch looked like it was a strike. Kiyomiya got the benefit of the doubt. Breaking ball looked like it was a ball, but the home plate umpire went up with the right hand. Fastball swung on, lifted down the left field line, giving chase is Kuwahara, but he's going to watch it drift into the seats, and the count now goes to 1-2 on Kiyomiya. Our friend Samurai Prayer says, how's our throat feeling after all? It's better. It's still a little bit raspy, but we're on the up and up. Thank you for asking. I have to keep the drinks close by and go from there. It was a bit of a combination of a sinus infection and some allergies. Really set us back on our heels. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball swung on, lifted into left field. He started back, but now he holds his ground, and underneath it is Kuwahara. He's there to make the catch. And Kiyomiya is going to be retired for the second out of the inning. And that's going to leave it up to the designated hitter in Franmil Reyes. Well, for Reyes, he's off to a steady start. He's hitting 263, 3 homers, and 6 runs driven in. As he steps in here on the right side, the 30-year-old, lots expected from him this year. As the pitch is on the way, it's a slow breaking ball missing up and away, and the count is 1-0 to Reyes. So 1 ball and no strikes. Lefty delivers again. There's a fastball that's taken for a called strike. The count goes to 1-1. Ball on 1 strike. Yuya Ginji to follow here if Reyes can find a way on base. As time has been called, Reyes needed a moment to step out and reset himself. I think I've only seen the dome open one time in Hokkaido. Breaking ball swung on. This ball is lifted into left field. This ball could be trouble. It's going to be off the top of the wall. Fielding it is the left fielder Kuwahara. He's going to get it in, and Reyes is going to cruise into second base with a double. He missed a home run probably by about 1.5 feet. As that ball did hit the top of the fence. Just get it underneath it enough. He looked like he was going to knock it down. That ball was absolutely scorched. It's going to bring Yuya Gunji to the plate. And for Gunji, well, he is hitting 242 on the year, a couple of homers and 4 runs batted in. So Gunji gets himself dug in, is ready to face the lefty here. Reyes establishing his lead over at second base. Here comes the pitch. Fastball center cut for a called strike. The count is 1-1 to Gunji. So 1 ball and 1 strike. I have to say, I can't remember really watching Takuchi pitch last year. I've seen Samita a lot, but not to Takuchi. There's a fastball swung on his chop back to the pitcher. He throws to first, and that is going to retire Gunji. Another one, ground out 1-3. So the pitcher fielding his position twice here in the inning as he's able to make both of the plays. There was no runs in the inning. There was a hit. There was no errors, and there was a runner left aboard. We are through 1 complete. Your score is the Lions 0 and the Fighters 0. Stick around, everybody. The second inning is just around the corner, and we are as well in just a few.
This is Steve Rademacher, and I'd like to introduce you to my channel if you haven't seen it before. These are all the things I enjoy: sports, autographs, relics, non-sports Hall of Famers, pseudo-sports, Star Wars. That's my channel name and my name, and I would really appreciate it if you would come check me out and maybe even subscribe if you like it. Thank you for that for now, and back to your ball game.
Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the 5, 6, and 7 hitters to come to bat here for the Lions in inning number 2. That means Yamamura, Hasegawa, and Canario to face the starter Hiromi Ito in his second inning of work. So Yamamura coming to the plate, batting 125 on the season. He's got a homer and an RBI, and that happened in last night's ball game. Left-handed hitting third baseman steps in. 2 for 16 on the year. He's got a couple of hits, including that home run in the ball game last night as the first pitch ready to come here from Ito. Breaking ball drops in for a called strike. The count is 0-1. Not sure what to really anticipate with Ito on the hill here. Normally he is their ace, and he is still their ace. I would have to think he's got to get himself sorted out a little bit. There's a fastball swung on. This guy is going to be taken on one hop in shallow right field by the second baseman. Nice play there by Narama, and he throws out Yamamura at first. It's a ground out. 4-3 is how we'll score it in the books. So 1 up and 1 away. That'll bring up the first baseman in Shinya Hasegawa. Well, for Hasegawa, enters the game tonight hitting .225, no homers, and 1 RBI. I have to say, some of the players here for the Lions, and Hasegawa being one of them, has had a lot of opportunity the last couple of years to get a lot of playing time. Looks like early this year there's a bit more competition for spots. There's a first pitch fastball that misses inside. The count is 1-0. Hasegawa getting the start at first base tonight. He does play in the outfield as well. As the right-hander delivers, there's a fastball that comes up and in. Did it get him? I don't think so. It just knocked him off the plate. As he is going to get up and collect himself. It's 2 balls and no strikes. Look at that one. It looked like it was sort of a 2-seamer, and it just rode in just over the hands of the hitter. Very fortunate. It's a tough position. You don't want to get hit in the hands, especially on the top of the hand. You can get things that can break there. So 2 balls and no strikes to Hasegawa as Ito holds to the set, now delivers. Fastball misses up, and the count now goes to 3-0. So 3 balls and no strikes. Again, Ito ready to go. Delivers. There's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 3-1. As I mentioned in that first inning, 15 pitches for Ito, and 6 of them were for balls. As the pitch on the way is a breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count now runs to 3-2 on Hasegawa. So 3 balls and 2 strikes it is. Again, the right-hander kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on and lifted foul. The count remains at 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. As the right-hander kicks and delivers again, there's a fastball swung on. It is lifted foul into the seats over on the first base side. And the count remains full here to Hasegawa. Alexander Canario awaiting his turn on deck. What would I expect here tonight at the outset if I had to make a prediction? Well, if it was maybe midway through the year, I would expect maybe more of a pitcher's duel, but I really don't know what to expect from Ito, as he hasn't really settled in yet in his season groove. Fastball swung on and fouled off right into the feet of Hasegawa. That's going to smart a bit. Keeps the count at 3-2, and it's going to bring up the 9th pitch of the at-bat. He's also going to get a visit from the trainer here. It looks like he may have fouled it off his top of his knee or his quad. Interesting. He wears the shin guard on the left foot, but he actually fouled it off, I believe, the right quad. That's what it looks like on the replay. So we'll do the 3-2 pitch all over again. This is the 9th pitch of the at-bat. Right-hander delivers, fastball swung on and fouled away again. Turning into quite the battle here with Shinya Hasegawa. It was a good old-fashioned four-seam fastball, and good job there by the right-handed hitting first baseman to foul it off. So here comes pitch number 10 of the at-bat. As Ito ready to go again, works himself to the set, now pitches. Breaking ball swung on, and this is lifted foul into the seats behind home plate. And the battle's going to continue. I remember a couple of years ago, we had just this big time at bat. I forget who it was. I want to say it was like Daigo Kawabata of the Fighters that fouled off like 17 pitch, or had a 17 pitch at bat. Well, we still got a ways to go here, but this is going to be pitch number 11 of the at-bat. Fastball swung on it, another one pop foul, and the battle continues. So pitch number 12 ready to come here as Ito didn't like the baseball he was given, and he's going to go to the rosin bag after getting a new one. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. This can really take the stuffing out of your pitcher when you have to waste basically 10% of your game's pitches against one hitter in one at-bat. And how time has been called as Hasegawa didn't feel that he was ready. We'll do this all over again. Right-hander Ito again working himself to the set. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball swung on, grounded foul past the bag at third. And here comes pitch number 13 of the at-bat coming up. That was actually a split-finger pitch that didn't really do a whole lot. Sort of hung up in the zone and was in a place that Hasegawa could foul it off. Here comes the 3-2 pitch yet again. Pitch number 13 of the at-bat on its way. Fastball swung on, and it's going to be popped up foul over on the third base side underneath it. But watching it sail into the seats is the third baseman, Gunji. And guess what? We're going to do it all over again. So pitch number 14 of the at-bat ready to come here. So if you like a good battle, this is what we have right here, the game within the game. Ito getting a sign from his catcher, Tamiya, finally getting one that he likes. Here comes the 3-2 again. Fastball swung on. This one's popped up, but it's going to be playable. It's over on the right side of the infield. Underneath it is Kiyomiya, and he's there to make the catch. And Hasegawa on 14 pitches is finally retired. He's gone for the second out of the inning, and that is going to bring up Alexander Canario. And our friend God is Great is in the house tonight. We welcome you from the land of the rising sun. So appreciate you for being here with us. So Canario stepping to the plate, hitting 196 on the year, no homers and 6 RBIs. Lions are another team other than Tyler Nevin. They need to get some production from their imports. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. Nevin last year gave the Lions excellent import play in the lineup at the moment. As the pitch is a breaking ball that misses in the left-handed batter's box, and the count goes to 1-1 on Alexander Canario. We will keep you updated on all the scores around the NPB. There is only action or scoring in one other game, as that splitter misses down and the count goes to 2-1 The Bay Stars have an early 1-0 lead over the Hiroshima Carp. That is in the top of the second inning. Tigers, Dragons, as well as the Eagles and Marines all scoreless at the moment. Fastball swung on and missed. Count goes to 2-2 on Canario. Our friend Harrison in the house tonight as well. Appreciate you for popping in. As the pitch on the way, it's a fastball swung on. It's going to be lifted into right field, and it's going to get down for a base hit. And that's the kind of hits that Canario is going to need as well. It wasn't the best of swings, but he definitely needed that hit. As he is aboard with a 2-out single, and that'll bring up Shun Akiyama to the plate. Friend Harrison says in his fist pumps he's going to be with the New York Boulders for social media and promotions for a second straight year. Congratulations, Harrison. Glad to hear that worked out for you. And when does a season specifically begin? That'll be the question. So the first pitch to Akiyama, fastball taken at the knees for called strike, and the count is 0-1. Akiyama 2 for 12 this year, and he's got nothing across the home runs or RBIs for him. Batting from the left side here against Ito as they throw over to first base, and diving back in time is Canario. I'd keep my eye on Canario. I know he can run a little bit, as he doesn't have any stolen bases in the NPB this year, but he does have some wheels. Pitch on the way, fastball swung on, and it's grounded foul. The runner was on the move there. Count now goes to 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. So no balls and 2 strikes as the right-hander kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball swung on it. Is lifted into center field, moving over underneath it, and with room to make the catch is Isobata, and Akiyama's gone for the third out of the inning. The big battle of the inning was the 14th pitch at bat to Shinya Hasegawa, but that came to nothing. No runs in the inning, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left aboard. We're moving to the bottom of the second inning. Your score is the Lions nothing and the Fighters nothing. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple of moments with all the action. Appreciate you for hanging in with us on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. It is the Fighters and the Lions. More action when we return after this. Welcome back, everybody. It's going to be the 5, 6, and 7 hitters to come to bat for the Fighters. That means Manami, Narama, and Yamagata to face the left-handed throwing Natsuki Takuchi here in inning number 2. Takuchi taking care of defense on his clock as he had made it, or is involved in 2 of the 3 outs in the first inning. Breaking ball misses down. The count is 1-0 to Manami. Manami hitting .266 on the year, 7 homers and 14 runs batted in, as he has jumped out to the lead with the home run department in the Pacific League as that breaking ball misses down. It's now 2-0. 7 home runs to be the leader in the Pacific. Batting from the right side, pitch on the way. It is a fastball that just misses down. It's now 3-0. So 3 balls and no strikes. Again, the lefty kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on. It is lifted into right center field. On the edge of the warning track and then backing up and making the catch is Alexander Canario. And Manami is gone for the first out of the inning, and that'll bring up the second baseman in Taiki Narama. Well, for Narama, as he comes to bat, he is hitting .364. He's got a couple homers and 8 RBIs, getting the nod at second base. He is 12 for 33 at the plate. As the pitch on the way is a fastball that misses outside. The count is 1-0. So 1 ball, no strikes to Narama. Takuchi working quickly, delivers again. There's a breaking ball that catches the outside corner, and the count runs even to 1-1. So a ball and a strike. Another breaking ball swung on, and this is going to be lined over the head of the third baseman into left field. And Narama is aboard with a 1-out single. That's going to bring up the shortstop in Shu Yamagata. So the hot hitting for Narama continues. Sometimes when you get guys, they just got to keep rolling the dice with them and let them prove you wrong. That is a hot stick right now for the second baseman of the Fighters. Brings Yamagata to the plate. Yamagata looking for his first hit of 2026. He is 0 for 11. Got no homers and an RBI. As the lefty kicks and fires, there's a fastball swung through and missed, and the count is quickly 2 balls and 1 strike. Digs himself back in, does the right-handed hitting second baseman. And now the 0-1 instead is thrown over to first base, and diving back in time is the runner Narama. We'll do the 0-1 pitch all over again here. So no balls and 1 strike as the lefty holds to the set, checks the runner at first, now delivers. Fastball swung on, and it's going to be lifted foul into the seats down the right field line, and the count now 0-2. This is a reminder, tomorrow night, same 2 teams, but an hour earlier start, as we'll get going at 9 o'clock on the Pacific Coast, or midnight Eastern if you happen to be around with us. 0-2 pitch on the way. Breaking ball misses down and away, and the count now goes to 1-2. Don't really follow the indie leagues too much. I know that the way the Major League Baseball, when they contracted some of the teams a few years ago, where they basically have 4 levels of minor league ball plus the rookie ball. So I guess you'd have to say at 5 levels. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count 1-2 to Yamagata. Indie ball was a beneficiary of that for sure, as they had some players that are out of contract and ended up in indie ball. I think the 20 rounds of the draft is also going to help some players, especially some of these guys who are undrafted free agents, as there's a ball that's thrown over to first base, and diving back in time is Narama. I was looking up a couple of kids that I happen to know, and I was just kind of looking at that. As they throw to first base, and diving back in time is the runner Narama again. Our friend Harrison says that he's got a 4-month anniversary with his girlfriend. Well, that's good. Add a 0 to the end of that in years, and we'll have another conversation. There's a breaking ball swung on and missed. Off to second goes the runner Narama, and he's going to steal second. But Yamagata goes down on strikes for the second out of the inning, but a stolen base for Narama puts him into scoring position as it brings the center fielder Ryo Isabata to the plate. I got to tell you, though, the very fine line there of the possibility of interference, batter interference there, is when the hitter had struck out. Yamagata, it looked like he had come across the plate. Home plate umpire didn't think so, so nothing given there, but I'd have to look at that replay a couple more times because they might have had a case. So this brings Isobata to the plate. 3 for 13 on the year. The speedy center fielder getting the start tonight. As the pitch is on the way, there's a breaking ball missing outside. The count is 1-0. I don't know why he really doesn't get the start. I don't know if it's that the big boss doesn't like him or they don't think that he swings the bat well enough. Kind of curious as to why he is not getting a regular spot in the outfield. 1-0 on the way. Breaking ball swung on off the end of the bat. They're going to have to hurry to get him. Fielded neatly by the third baseman, Yamamura, who fires to first. It's a ground out 5-3 for the third out of the inning. And that is going to do it here for the Fighters in their half of inning number 2. No runs in the inning, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left aboard. Your score as we move to the top of the third inning. We are locked at zeros between the Lions and the Fighters. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments after this on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Appreciate you guys for hanging in here with us tonight as we give you all the action with this one here. We'll be right back in just a few. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the 9, 1, and 2 hitters to come to bat for the Lions in just a couple moments. Your score is 0-0, and we are moving to the top of the third inning. Hang with us. We'll be right back after this timeout. Welcome back, everybody. We are moving to the top of the third inning, and it'll be Takezawa, Kuwahara, and Genda to come to bat against Ito. And the first pitch is a fastball taken at the knees for called strike. Suo Takezawa is 1 for 21 on the season. And he finds himself in the hole at 0-1. There's a breaking ball swung on it, is grounded over to first, and make that 1 for 22 as he is grounded out to 3 for the first out of the inning. So 1 up and 1 away here. It'll bring up the top of the order in Masayuki Kuwahara. Not a lot of offense so far in this one. But in saying that, there's been at least 1 base runner in each of the half innings so far tonight. And one of the things that you can also look at is in 2 of those 4, it all came with 2 outs. They weren't able to get a leadoff batter on yet in any of the innings. And here comes Kuwahara to the plate, and the first pitch to him is a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. No balls and 1 strike it is. Our friend All Rails in the house. He says, just finished watching the NBA Warriors and Suns play-in game. He says, on to baseball. There's a fastball swung on it. It's taken on 1 hop off the glove of the third baseman, Gunji. Going to bound into foul territory. We're going to have to see how they score it. I have a feeling that might come as an error, although the ball was absolutely scorched. We'll get a look at this again. Kuwahara is going to reach first base safely. That ball, I got to tell you, you're a top-level player in this league. You got to make that play. I didn't watch any of the basketball. In fact, I don't even know who won the game between the Magic and the Hornets tonight. This brings Sosuke Genda to the plate. Genda 13 for 41. Pitch on the way. Breaking ball taken for a called strike. On his 0-1. I was just talking about Kuwahara earlier, and I said he's actually been a really settling effect on the Lions this year. Just that veteran presence in the lineup. He's been very, very good. And hitting at the top spot. There's a breaking ball swung on his chop, and it's going to get through the first baseman. Oh, what a play. Fielded by the second baseman, Narama, and he underhand flips it to the pitcher covering. So the first baseman, Kiyomiya, completely whiffed on the ball. Great play by the second baseman to get it. Underhand flip. So no error charged to the first baseman. It's going to go down as a ground out, 4-1. As Genda is going to be gone for the second out of the inning. Advancing the second is Kuwahara. So good for him. We'll just get a look there. It is. Looks like that they gave Kuwahara a hit there on that one. So his batting average will stay well north of the 300 mark. This is going to bring Taiga Kojima to the plate. There's a fastball that misses upstairs. All Rail says the Magic won by a lot. Well, it looks like it'll be the Pistons and the Magic in round one. And I am a fan of the Detroit Pistons, that is for sure. There's a breaking ball swung on and missed, and the count goes even to 1-1 on Kojima. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Although I have to say, I don't know the result of that game between the Suns and the Warriors, but I'm sure that would have been an entertaining game as well. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. As the right-hander kicks and delivers, there's a breaking ball swung on and lifted foul into the seats on the third base side. There is somebody that I do listen to on podcasts, and that would be Bill Simmons. Our friend Mike Cool Hooks is joining us as well. And Bill Simmons, he does a lot of basketball and football. Those are kind of his niche sports. And he was commenting and saying they were speculating that LeBron James could be a Warrior next year. They might get a bunch of the old guys together and try to finish out their careers there. There's a fastball swung on and missed, and Kojima is gone on strikes for out number 3. And that is going to do it. No runs in the inning. There was a hit, no errors, and there was a runner left aboard. We're now through 2.5. Your score is where we started. 0-0. We'll be back in just a couple of moments. Lions and Fires, top of the third. Appreciate you guys for hanging in with us tonight on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Right back after this.
Well, you've got to have an ace in the hole, a little secret that nobody knows. Life is a gamble, a game we all play, but you've got to save something for a rainy day. You've got to learn to play your cards right if you expect to win in life. Don't put it all on the line for just one roll. You've got to have an ace in the hole. Yeah.
Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the 9, 1, and 2 hitters to come to bat for the Fighters in inning number 3. That means Yua Tamiya. The top of the order is Shin Mizutani and Kitaro Kiyomiya. You face the left-hander Suki Takeuchi, who is coming on for his 3rd inning of work. We were talking a little bit of basketball there as we were jumping in, and we were saying about how there's the possibility maybe LeBron could end up in G State next year. If at anything, it would be the jersey sales that I'm sure that would spike. There's a breaking ball that is swung on and missed by Tamiya, and the count is quickly 0-1. Tamiya hitting .283 on the air, a couple homers, and 5 runs batted in. As the lefty kicks and delivers, there's a fastball to the knees taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-2. Our friend Al Rails says, I wonder who's going to score first in this game. Yeah, well, if you've taken the under so far, you're looking like a genius. As the 0-2 on the way is a fastball that just misses up and away. And the count goes to 1-2. Ball and 2 strikes. Again, the lefty nodding in agreement as he works himself to the set. And the pitch on the way. Breaking ball swung on and lifted foul into the seats down the left field line, and the count remains at 1-2. I was commenting earlier in the stream tonight. I said, I think I've only seen one time that the Fighters have had their dome open. I'm not sure what the temperature is. I know God is Great was around earlier. We could have asked him what they were looking at in Hokkaido at this time, if it was still a little cool. There's a breaking ball, waved at and missed, and Tamiya is in the books. He's gone for out number 1 here in inning number 3. That'll be the 2nd strikeout recorded by Takeuchi in this one, and that'll bring up the top of the order in Shin Mizutani. Well, for Mizutani, he is 0 for 1 tonight. He grounded back to the pitcher his first time up. Mizutani with the 0 for 1 today. As the lefty kicks and delivers, there's a fastball taken for a called strike. His average is dipped to 195 on the year. One thing I would have to say is the level of consistency of some of the Fighter players. There's a breaking ball, waved at and missed. Count goes to 0-2. You got to start stringing the hits together, and you got to start stringing some production together. Right now, the Fighters, through almost the first 20 games, not so. There's a fastball swung on and lifted foul. Count remains at 0-2 to Mizutani. So no balls and 2 strikes as the lefty delivers. There's a breaking ball that misses outside. They appeal to the first base umpire, but they say Mizutani didn't go, and it's going to run the count to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Now time has been called as Mizutani steps out, figuring Takeuchi has worked a little bit too quickly. So here we go again, the 1-2 on the way. It's a breaking ball swung on and grounded foul. Looked like it got into the dugout over on the third base side, where the Lions call their home. At least for this series, it's 1-2. It remains to Mizutani. I was saying about the under in this game being that nobody has scored a run yet. I'm saying who's going to blink first. It might be a while. There's a fastball swung on and grounded foul over on the first base side. The count still remains at 1-2. So ball and 2 strikes. So Harrison said, should he go and see the Jingo? I would. I just don't know how much longer it's going to be. They're saying, 3 years, maybe max? As the 1-2 is on the way, it's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count goes to 2-2. You know, in some ways, it's a shame the iconic stadium is going to be taken down. I think of a lot of, in European football, I think of the number of stadiums I've been to in the UK and how many don't exist anymore. And I was shocked. I don't follow Italian football so much, but I did see a match at the San Siro some 30 years ago. Breaking ball swung on and tap foul over on the third base side. The count remains at 2s. And that stadium is gone. So AC Milan and Inter Milan will be looking for a new home, or I'm not even sure where they're playing this year. the iconic San Siro Stadium. I believe that was the home of the, Italian 90 with the World Cup. Here's the 2-2 pitch. And it's a breaking ball down, but they say that he went, says the home plate umpire. They apply the tag, and Mizutani is going to be retired on a strikeout for out number 2 here. So that was a 9-pitch at bat to him, and it results in the K. And so home plate umpire said he went around. We'll get a look at the replay of this. Yep. I would say the home plate umpire got that one right. All Rail says, you should go. It's a good stadium. There's a fastball that misses inside. I'll be honest with you. The stadium is out of date. It's a great place. It's like going to Wrigley Field, or it's like going to Fenway Park. You got to go. 1-0 pitch on the way. There's a fastball swung on it. Is looped into center field. Is it going to get down? Yeah, it is. Right in front of the center fielder, Shun Akiyama. That's going to be a base hit for Kiyomiya. So he's aboard with a 2-out single, and that's going to bring up the DH and Franmil Reyes. So just as I was saying, it's one of those stadiums that you got to go and see. But I'll tell you why it's out of date. Number one is the concessions underneath, long lines, the hallways underneath the stadium narrow, bathrooms you got to line up. I mean, the women's bathrooms are terrible. If you got to go to the bathroom, I would encourage, if you're taking your girlfriend, not to have a beer or any water, because the lineups could be 2-inning waits. Fastball swung on it, missed, and the count is quickly 0-1 to Reyes. Reyes doubled in the first inning. His first time up, he's 1 for 1 tonight. But again, a great opportunity to go see Japanese baseball, and a great spot to see it. Obviously, where you're sitting, it's fantastic. Breaking ball misses down. You're right on top of the play. Sometimes you get to some of these stadiums and it seems like you're sitting so far back. 1-1 pitch. Breaking ball misses down. It's now 2-1 to Reyes. So to answer your question, yeah, it's a good stadium to want to get to. But I also can understand why the Swallows are saying, hey, it's time for it to go. 2-1 pitch on the way. Breaking ball misses down, and the count goes to 3-1. I remember the first time I walked around the stadium, I thought, if I didn't know it was a baseball stadium, I would have thought it was like a bull ring. Just the way the outside was designed, I would have felt like maybe it would have been something you'd see like in Spain or Latin America. Here's the 3-1 pitch. Breaking ball misses up and away. It's going to be ball 4. That pitch looked like it was pretty good, but not in the eyes of the home plate umpire, and he is the one that matters. So that's going to put runners at first and second with 2 gone, and it's going to bring Yuya Gunji to the plate. So Harrison said the Jingu and where else? Well, personally speaking, I like where I actually kind of have an affectionate spot for where the Lions play. Also, Yokohama is a nice ground. I'm sure our friend Tim would be all over that. So those would be the 3 stadiums in the Tokyo area that I'd get to. Kyocera Dome, Koshin Stadium for sure you want to try to get to if you can. You also want to try to get to I really like where the Carp play. That stadium is pretty cool. And also enjoyed the Hodomoto Field in Kobe. There was a first pitch fastball taken at the knees for a called strike, and the count is quickly 0-1 to Gunji. So no balls and 1 strike. Fighters Lions locked at zeros here as the lefty Kikuchi delivers. There's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count now goes to 0-2 on Gunji. Those of you who have joined us late tonight, we mentioned that we will be back on the airwaves yet again tomorrow. It will be at 9 o'clock Pacific time or midnight Eastern, so an hour earlier. You get a chance, come on in and join us. Here comes the 0-2 pitch as the lefty kicks and delivers. Fastball misses way outside. Count 1-2 now to Gunji. So Harrison says 2 must-see stadiums. I'd go to the Lions Stadium, and I'd go see the Bay Stars if you're just in Tokyo, as well as the Jingu. So those would be the 3. If you had unlimited budget and you could travel everywhere, well, then it's a different kettle of fish. Here's the 1-2 pitch. On the way, fastball swung on and lifted foul into the seats over on the first base side. Count remains at 1-2 to Gunji. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. And the lefty getting the sign from his catcher is ready to go back to work as Gunji has himself dug in. So here comes the 1-2 offering as Takuchi holds to the set, checks the runner at second. 1-2 on the way. Breaking ball swung on it is lifted softly into shallow center field. Racing back underneath it with room to make the catch is the second baseman Takazawa, and that is going to retire Gunji for the 3rd out of the inning. As they are gone here in the 3rd are the fighters. No runs in the inning. There was a hit. There was no errors. And there was 2 runners left aboard. Your scores were now through 3 complete. It is the Lions nothing and the Fighters nothing. We are where we started. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple of moments with all the action right after this timeout. Welcome back, everybody. We're still looking for our first run here in this one tonight, as it is locked at 0s through the first 3 innings. It'll be the heart of the batting order to come to bat here for the Lions in inning number 4. That means Lin, Yamamura, and Hasegawa. You face the right-hander Ito, who has just completed his tune-up tosses. Well, for Anko Lin, he is 0 for 1 tonight. He has popped to the third baseman his first time up. Lin had his first season in the NPB, had come over from the Chinese Professional League, that is CPBL, that plays in Taiwan. Harrison says, thoughts on the Jingu and the Koshin. Well, I gave you my thoughts on the Jingu a few moments ago, where I said that it needs to be updated. Koshin, I've only been to the stadium. I've never actually seen a game there, so another iconic build. There's a first pitch fastball taken for a called strike. 49 pitches through 3 innings for Ito. I'd be shocked if either of these two were in the round for the 7th inning, the way that the pitch counts have been ratcheted up here. There's a fastball misses inside, and the count goes to 1-1. Koshin Stadium, of course, you might want to call it the Wrigley Field or the Fenway Park of Japanese baseball, as there's a fastball swung on and fouled away right at home plate, and the count is 1-2. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes to Lin. Then the right-hander ready to go as he works himself into the set position. Pitch on the way. There's a breaking ball swung on and lifted foul into the seats over on the third base side, and 1 ball and 2 strikes it remains. Lions and the Fighters locked in a deadlock at zeros here. The same can't be said around all of the NPB, as there's a fastball swung on. It's grounded over to second. Fielded neatly by the second baseman, Narama, who throws to first, and Lin's gone to ground out 4-3 for out number one. This isn't the Chinese Professional League, as Lin is finding out here pretty quickly. Still, the only score in the NPB is the Bay Stars with a 1-0 lead over the Carp. It is the Eagles that are threatening their half of, looks like the bottom half of inning number 3 against Chiba. And the Tigers and the Dragons tied at 0. There's a fastball taken for a called strike. Count is 0-1 to Yamamura. Yamamura 0 for 1 today. He grounded out to second his first time up. He is 2 for 17 on the year as the right-hander Ito kicks and fires. There's a fastball that misses down, and the count goes to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Ito again getting the sign from his catcher as he works himself into the delivery. There's a breaking ball that misses outside. That pitch looked pretty darn good. Have to tell you, when I say look pretty darn good, sometimes you also can see the reaction of the players, and you can see where they set up and how they don't have to move. 2-1 on the way. There's a fastball swung on it, is chopped, and it is fielded by Ito. A nice athletic play as he fields it on the side of the mound closest to second base. He throws to first, and that's going to retire Yamamura on a ground out 1-3. So 2 up and 2 away. It's going to leave it up to the first baseman in Shinya Hasegawa. Well, for Hasegawa, he had himself quite the marathon at bat his first time up. 14 pitches. He was able to take Ito to. Basically, he has seen almost a quarter of the pitches in the ball game tonight in that one at bat. As Ito kicks and delivers, fastball swung on and missed, and the count is quickly 0-1 to Hasegawa. I find that to be staggering that you've seen almost a quarter of the pitches. And in fact, on that swing there, I think he has now definitely seen over a quarter of the pitches in this game. Fastball just misses outside, and the count goes even to 1-1. Sometimes hitters see the ball out of pitchers' hands like they're balloons, or sometimes even bigger. There's a pitch that misses down, and the count now goes to 2-1 on Hasegawa. So 2 balls and a strike. If you guys want some entertainment, go over and see our friend Chopper Davis, 22. As there's a fastball swung on it, is lifted foul into the seats, and the count remains at 2-2. It's a buddy of mine in Victoria, British Columbia. He goes out and interviews people in the streets. They have a little chin wag where he asks them what they're doing, explaining where they're at or where they're from. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Fastball taken at the knees for a called third strike, and Hasegawa's in the books. He's gone for out number 3. And the first time tonight we have had a team go in order. Ito finally gets it done. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left the board. We're moving to the bottom of the 4th inning. And your score is the Lions 0 and the Fighters 0. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with all the action in just a few right after this musical timeout. Your score as we move now to the bottom of the 4th inning. It is still where we started, 0-0. Hang with us, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the 5, 6, and 7 hitters to come to bat. That means Chusei Minami, Taiki Narama, and Shu Yamagata to get things going here in the 4th inning. Minami stepping to the plate. 0 for 1 tonight, has flown out to right field in his only trip to the dish. Our friend Zay in the house. He says, "Go Fighters." Welcome, Zay. Great to have you with us. As Zay is the resident Fighters fan. There's a first pitch breaking ball that misses outside. The count is 1-0. Hope you've been doing good, Zay. So it says Zay can't clutch. So he's changed his handle a little bit as the 1-0 is on the way. Breaking ball swung on and missed. And the count now goes to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. And we'll be back on again tomorrow for you, Zay, as we are going to call the Fighters yet again. Back-to-back nights. There's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count goes to 2-1. I remember it wasn't all that long ago, a few years ago, it was really painful to have to watch the Fighters. But I have to tip my hat to Shinjo. He's really got them playing good ball. There's a fastball missing inside. Count is 3-1. Maybe not at this particular moment, as they are finding it difficult at the moment to accomplish some things, such as winning ball games. They are in 4th place in the Pacific, as the 3-1 on the way is a breaking ball that's down, and it gets all the way from the catcher all the way to the backstop. But now he's going to get himself a base on balls, as he's going to get a leadoff walk here. It's going to bring up the second baseman in Taiki Narama. Zay says he hasn't been able to stay up much for the NPB, but he's awake tonight, and that's great to have you with us. As I said, tomorrow night it'll be 9 o'clock Pacific or midnight Eastern, so an hour earlier. So if you're in the neighborhood, be sure to stop on by. So this brings Narama to the plate, who's 1 for 1 tonight. He's on a heater right now for the Fighters. Entered the game hitting .364. That batting average has gone up. See if Narama can continue. Fighters have had at least 1 hit in every inning thus far. Pitch on the way. Fastball swung on and fouled away. The count is quickly 0-1 to Narama. Bottom of the 4th inning, locked at zeros in this one. And maybe it'll end up like the Tigers and the Red Sox tonight, going extra innings until the Red Sox were able to get that 1 run to beat the Detroit Tigers tonight. There's a 0-1 pitch on the way. Fastball misses up and away. Count goes to 1-1, and it was Masataka Yoshida, the former Japanese player, or former Japanese great, I guess, for the Oryx Buffaloes. Ended up walking it off for the Red Sox in the bottom of the 10th. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Fastball missing way outside. The count now goes to 2-1 on Narama. As I said, both of these pitchers here tonight, both Ito and Narama, makes me wonder if either of them are going to be around in the 7th inning, just the way that this game has gone so far. Difficulty of finding the command of their pitches. Here comes the 2-1. As the lefty delivers, fastball swung on and popped foul into the seats on the first base side of home plate. 2 balls and 2 strikes it is. Zay says the Guardians almost had a no-hitter last night. I think was it Parker Messick? Was that who the starter was? If I'm not mistaken, I might have some film on him because I think he was in relief of the Guardians-Mariners game I was at a couple of weeks ago. Here's the 2-2. Breaking ball swung on and lifted foul into the seats, and the count remains at 2-2 to Narama. Trying to remember who the starter for the Guardians that I saw pitch. Oh, it was Slade Ciccone. And I think Messick came on in relief of Ciccone. And our Taiwanese friend, our Filipino friend in the house, says there's a fastball swung on and lifted foul. Count remains at 2-2. Yeah, I don't like to predict ill will or put ill will on anybody, but I really don't know if I like the manager of the Cardinals, Carlos Marmol. He's not my kind of guy. And the Cardinals are doing better than anticipated because I got to be honest, I don't think that lineup is worth talking about. Here comes the 2-2 pitch on the way, and it is a fastball swung on and missed. Narama in the books. He's gone for the first out of the inning. That is going to bring up the shortstop in Shu Yamagata. Well, for Yamagata, he is 0 for the season. No hits in 12 at-bats. He struck out his first time tonight. So he digs himself in here on the right side. It was Mizuno getting the night off, it looks like. As the lefty Takuchi throws over to first base, and diving back in time is the runner Manami. Zay says that Jordan Walker was on a heater until bet on him to hit a home run, and he went cold. Yeah, Walker was off to a pretty good start. There was lots of talk about Walker in the minor leagues, that he was really rocketing up through the minors, and then he got to the big leagues. He started off all right, and then he went cold. Sometimes you'll see guys, they come up and the league will adjust to them, and then they got to find a way to adjust back. There's a breaking ball swung on and missed, and the count is quickly 0-1 to Yamagata. So no balls and one strike. Lions and Fighters locked at zeros here in the bottom of the fourth inning as the lefty Takuchi delivers. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count now goes to 0-2. Zay said he was hitting a lot of first pitch home runs, ambushing the pitchers. Yeah, well, you know what? One of the things that you see, at least in the youth levels and even in the college levels, I'd like to know what the batting average is of balls put in play on first pitch in the big leagues. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away. I'm sure surely with all the stuff on Baseball Reference, you could calculate it out. What is a guy's batting average if he swings at the first pitch? Here's the 0-2. What we find is usually at the youth levels and even at the college level that guys aren't ready to hit. Not everybody, but a lot of guys aren't ready to hit. They don't have the timing. Get that first pitch over for a pitcher. It just gives you a whole advantage. There's a breaking ball down. A nice stop there by the catcher, Kojima. Staying at first base is the runner, Manami. That's going to run the count now to a ball and 2 strikes. How many balls are squared up on the first pitch? How many balls are actually put in play that result in a hit? I guess I could probably start looking at some of our previous games because we keep score on each of the games. What would be the batting average in that situation? Another good stop there by the catcher, Kojima, as that ball was in the dirt, and it's now 2-2 to Yamagata. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Sort of like the Cleveland Guardian pitchers that were suspended. I think it was Ortiz and Emmanuel Clase, where they were betting on a ball on the first pitch. There's a ball swung on, is chopped up the middle, fielded on the run by the second baseman, Takazawa. He throws to first. That's his only play. Safe over at second is Manami. It goes as a ground out 4-3 to retire Yamagata. He's gone for the second out of the inning. He's going to leave it up to the center fielder in Ryo Isobata. Well, for Isobata, he is 0 for 1 tonight. He grounded to third his first time up. 71 pitches so far for the left-hander Takuchi. As Isobata digs himself in for the second time tonight to face the left-hander Takuchi. Interesting that they would put Isobata in the lineup to face a lefty. There's a fastball taken for a called strike. Count is 0-1. If it was North America, you'd probably be saying, what have I done to deserve this? As normally Kota Yazawa has been in the lineup, but Yazawa enjoying a night on the bench tonight. Here comes the 0-1 pitch as the lefty kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on and missed, and now the count goes to 0-2. Well, the one thing I would say about Isobata is that he can nickel and dime, he can bunt, he can run, but I'm not sure he can catch up to the power of some of the top arms in the NPB, as that pitch was just blown right by him. And I don't know if Takuchi's what I would call a top arm. He's got a nice fastball, but he's not overpowering. Here comes the 0-2. Lefty kicks and delivers. There's a fastball that just misses down. That pitch looked pretty darn good. You could tell Kojima wanted that pitch. Well, plate umpire wasn't going to give it to him. So 1-2 strikes as the lefty ready to go again. And again, as he holds to the set, he kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on, and it's lifted foul down the left field line, and the count 1-2 to Isobata. So 1-2 strikes. Isobata looking to try to claw his way on here. Runner at second, Miami. 2 gone here in the 4th inning. Yeah, it's 1-2 strikes here to Isobata as the lefty kicks and fires. Breaking ball misses down, and the count runs now even to 2-2. So 2-2 strikes. One of the things about this game tonight, too, is it's got no real rhythm to it. It's just sort of there. It's a lot of runners on base. Nobody has been able to cash in. They've only had one inning that has gone 1-2-3. That was in the top half of this frame. There's a fastball swung on, grounded back to the pitcher. Takuchi fields it. He throws a dart to the first baseman, Hasegawa. It's going to go down as a ground out, 1-3 for the 3rd out of the inning. And that is going to do it here. That's the 3rd time by my books that the pitcher has had to make a play on the hitters of the Fighters. Well, no runs in the inning. There was no hits, no errors, but there was a runner left aboard. The scores were now through 4 complete. It is where we started. The Lions nothing and the Fighters nothing. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a little bit with all the action right after this musical time out. When you think about teams playing better than average baseball, well, that would be the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles. They have a 4-0 lead in the top of the 4th inning over the Chibalote Marines. And they are in right now the 3 spot in the Pacific League. Yokohama still leading the Carp 1-0. And in the game at the Koshin Stadium, the Tigers have taken a 1-0 lead over the Dragons. It's in the top of the 4th inning. First pitch, breaking ball delivered to Alexander Canario, taken for a called strike. The count is quickly 0-1. Canario 1-for-1 tonight has raised his season average to 212 as the right-hander Ito kicks and delivers. Breaking ball swung on, grounded up the middle, fielded neatly by the second baseman Narama on the shallow right field grass. And that is going to retire Canario on a ground out 4-3 for out number 1. It's going to rep the center fielder in Shun Akiyama. This is where a lot of people will be jumping in, thinking, are they going to be able to stay with the under? I don't even know what the over-under was in this one for the first 5. My guess is probably 2.5. So this brings Akiyama to the plate, who flew out to center his first time up, and it's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. Akiyama 2-for-13 on the season. Batting from the left side here against the righty Ito, who holds set, now delivers. Breaking ball swung on and lifted foul into the seats over on the third base side, and the count now goes to 0-2. So the ball's in 2 strikes. Lions fans, well, they seem to have traveled well here for the ball game tonight in Hokkaido. Pretty decent section. There's a fastball swung on. It's lifted down the left field line. It's going to slice foul into the seats. Keeps the count at 0-2 to Akiyama. So no balls and 2 strikes. It remains here as the right-hander Ito ready to go again. Pitch on the way. Split finger pitch swung on and missed. They're going to have to throw down to first. Strikeout 2-3 on the putout, as that is going to retire Akiyama. And that'll bring up the second baseman in Natsuo Takezawa. Well, for Takezawa, he is 0-for-1 tonight. He grounded to first his only time up. And another one who has off to a tough start this year. He is 1-for-22, batting .045. At one point, you have to say it's time to go down to the minor leagues or at least to the knee gun and figure it out a little bit. Plate umpire looks like he's just needing a moment here. He's got to make an adjustment on his mask. That is why we have a little bit of a delay. For those of you who saw the Royals and the Tigers on Thursday, looks like he's going to need a little bit of assistance here from Ua Tamiya, as they're still trying to figure out his mask here. When he took his mask off, it actually had pulled the strap off of the back side. Well, now it looks like he is set and ready to go. So everything is back in shape, and that is Takezawa at the plate. The first pitch breaking ball is taken for a called strike. Count is 0-1. Takezawa 1-for-22, as we said on the season. Got off to a very good start offensively. There's a fastball swung on. It is lifted into the left field, and it's going to get down for a base hit in front of Mizutani. And so that is a single here. So as we talk about it, we speak the hit into existence. So now he is going to be 2-for-23. That'll raise that batting average up a bunch. So a 2-out single for Takezawa. It's going to bring up the top of the order in Masayuki Kuwahara. Well, for Kuwahara, he is 1-for-2 tonight. He's got a single and 2 trips. 4 hits now for the Lions in this one. Only 3 hits for the Fighters, so both pitchers been able to keep the offense off balance. The only difference is that they've thrown a whack of pitches, 71 pitches already here so far for Hiromi Ito, as he steps off the backside of the rubber and feigns a throw to first. So the right-hander Ito ready to go again as he leans in and gets the sign from Tamiya. Here comes the offering as he kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on and lifted foul. Counters quickly 0-1 to Kuwahara. So no balls and 1 strike. Ito gets a new baseball. Kuwahara gets himself set back in the batter's box, and we're ready to resume the action. So no balls and 1 strike it is, as Ito shaking off his catcher. Now he gets the sign he likes. Here comes the 0-1. Instead, they throw over to first, and diving back in time is the runner. So the balls and a 1 strike it is to Kuwahara. Again, they throw to first base. Snap throw by Ito, trying to get the runner Takezawa sleeping. And he is able to get back to his feet. So no balls and 1 strike. Again, the right-hander holds to the set. And again, they throw to first base. And again, diving back easily is the runner Takezawa. So no balls and 1 strike it is. So the right-hander ready to go again as he works himself into the set. Here's the pitch. Fastball swung on and missed, and the count now 0-2 to Kuwahara. Kuwahara, Canario, Genda, and Takezawa have the 4 hits tonight for the Fighters, and they've been all scattered around. Nothing has been strung together. As the runner Takezawa, keep an eye on him. No balls and 2 strikes. This might be a good pitch to run on here. He gets thrown out. You got your leadoff hitter coming up to bat in the 6th. Ito holds set. There goes the runner. There's the pitch. It's a fastball swung on and lifted into the seats foul. Count remains at 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. One of these 2 teams is going to have to manufacture something with their legs. They're going to have to, at least I think tonight, the way this game is going to be won is going to be because of the legs. Steal a base, hit and run, whatever it might be, challenge an arm from the outfield as they throw over to first base, and Takezawa dives back safely. So no balls and 2 strikes, it remains. Other thing is I noticed this in the weekday games. Here we are on the weekend. It always seems like the weekend games, Saturday, Sunday games, go a bit slower. I don't know if that's by design. I mean, you've got a full house here at the Escon Field in Hokkaido. It just seems like the games just move a little bit quicker. There goes the runner again. And the pitch outside, and the ball is thrown into center field, but unfortunately for Takezawa, he's not going to be able to advance any further. That's going to be a stolen base, as it's now a ball and 2 strikes to Kuwahara. So he has moved into scoring position as very interesting there, as the throw was not a very good one. Yua Tamiya threw that ball probably a good 10 feet in the air. Nice try by the second baseman, Narama, to try to walk the ladder to get it, but not to any fruition. It is going to be Genda here. Waits on deck as Kuwahara is in the hole at 1-2. Breaking ball swung on and lifted foul down the right field line, and the count remains at 1-2. So ball and 2 strikes. Kuwahara going to try to win this battle here, as the right-hander Ito Leans in and gets the side from his catcher. Here comes the 1-2 offering as he checks the runner over at second. Checks him again, now delivers. Fastball misses up and in, and the count goes to 2-2. 77 pitches now here for Ito in the fifth inning of work. As I mentioned before, I'd be surprised if he was able to get to the seventh. So 2 balls and 2 strikes it is. The Lions, runner at second base here. They have not had a runner to third in this one. Ito now steps off the backside of the rubber, and he's going to get himself a new baseball. And we'll get going again here in just a moment. So 2 balls and 2 strikes as the right-hander nods now in agreement with his catcher, Tamiya. Here comes the 2-2. Pitch on the way. Fastball swung on, grounded over to the right side, fielded by Kiyomiya. He throws to the pitcher, covering. That's going to go down in the books as a ground out, 3-1. Athletic play there by Ito. And that is going to do it here in the fifth inning for the Lions. No runs in the inning. They did get a hit, no errors, and 1 runner left aboard. We're now halfway through complete in this one. Your score is the Lions nothing and the Fighters nothing. Bottom of the fifth is just around the corner. We appreciate you guys for hanging in here with us tonight on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Stay with us, everybody.
Hello, guys. Thank you for joining Freddie here on his baseball game. And I'm Steve Rademacher, and my channel is really all about everybody, including all my international friends. We have such stuff as non-sport packs from Canada, the OP Cheese. We have the Greek Freak. We have money from around the world. We have lira. We have yen. We have francs. We have pounds. We have Deutschmarks. We have all kinds of cool stuff like that. We even have some cooler things like Japanese women wrestlers and OP-Chi baseball cards where I cannot read the back. We even have unopened material like the royal family, I know it's backwards, from London, England. Thank you for watching. Back to Freddie.
Appreciate you there, Steve. And we are moving to the bottom of inning number 5. And I'm sure that a lot of people are concerned if it's going to be the over or the under. Right now, if you have picked the under, you are smelling like a rose as we have a 0-0 tie going to the bottom of the 5th inning. It is going to be Yu Tamiya, then the top of the order, Shin Mizutani and Kitaro Kiyomiya. You face the lefty Natsuki Takuchi. Takuchi has been able to keep the Fighters hitters off balance tonight so far in this one. As he has 4 strikeouts through his 4 innings of work, but he has not been able to retire the Fighters in order in any of the innings thus far. That is a bit of a tale of the tape. Fighters have left 5 runners aboard in the first 4 innings, and their counterpart, the Lions, 4 through 5. First pitch, breaking ball swung on and grounded foul. Count no balls and 1 strike to Yu Tamiya. Tamiya 0 for 1 tonight. He struck out his first time up. Average is dipped to 278 on the year with a couple homers and 5 runs driven in. Gets himself back in the batter's box. Here's the 0-1. There's a breaking ball swung on, and it's fouled away. It looked like it might have caught the catcher and the umpire. Couldn't really tell on that one. No balls and 2 strikes to Tamiya. Batting from the left side, here is the catcher as he waits on the offering from the lefty. Here's the 0-2. There's a breaking ball swung on. It is lifted down the left field line, and it is going to slice its way into the netting. And it keeps the count at 0-2 to Tamiya. So no balls and 2 strikes. Again, the lefty Takuchi ready to go again. As he works himself to the set, now delivers. Fastball swung on, and Lifted foul down the left field line, and the count remains 0-2. I have to say, if they get into the bullpen here, my guess is I'd be leaning toward the Fighters in this one. But right now, neither team able to do any damage offensively. Who knows? Here's the 0-2 offering. Breaking ball swung on, grounded softly to second. Fielded neatly by the second baseman, Takezawa. He throws to first, and Tamiya's gone on a ground out 4-3. So one up and one away. It'll bring up the top of the order in Shun Mizutani. So Mizutani striding to the plate, 0 for 2 tonight. He is grounded to the pitcher and struck out in his 2 trips. The Fighter fans are cheering their hometown hero on, as it's going to be the 83rd pitch of the ball game for the pitcher Takuchi, and there's a breaking ball swung on and missed. Count is 0-1. His average has slipped to 190 as Mizutani, as he takes a breaking ball upstairs, and the count goes to 1-1. Just as a reminder, after this half inning, it is what we call Japanese halftime, as there's a fastball swung on, it's lifted foul, giving chase as the first baseman Hasegawa, but it's going to hit the netting and it's going to run the count to 1-2. We like to call the Japanese halftime. That is where they take a 5-minute break. And between the 5th and the 6th innings, they usually clean the field. Some parks, they do fireworks, and maybe some of the players actually go have a cigarette. There's a fastball that misses inside. The count's now 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. There's a fastball that misses outside. The count now runs full to Mizutani. So 3 balls and 2 strikes it is. Takuchi ready to deliver the payoff pitch. He kicks and he fires. There's a breaking ball swung on and tap foul all the way to the backstop. Count remains at 3-2. As the lefty kicks and delivers again, fastball swung on, lifted into left center field. It's going to get down for a base hit. It's going to get all the way to the wall. Mizutani rounding first. He's heading to second, and he's going to cruise in safely with a stand-up double. So Mizutani has himself a double, and that is going to bring up the first baseman in Kentaro Kiyomiya. So the Fighters with a one-out double here. Now you got the big bats coming up here. Get an opportunity here to maybe punch one across here in inning number 5. Or maybe more. So Mizutani in at second base. As he nods to the crowd, tips his hat. And he needed that more than anything else. I mean, he's not been hitting the ball particularly well, and maybe that'll jumpstart his offense here for the next little bit. So Kiyomiya striding to the plate. He bats from the left side here. 1 for 2 tonight, has a single and 2 trips. Season average has lifted to 290. As the lefty kicks and delivers, there's a breaking ball swung on. It is chopped over on the right side, fielded neatly by the second baseman, Takezawa, who underhand flips it to the first baseman. It's a ground out 4-3. So Kiyomiya gone for the second out of the inning. Advancing over to third is Mizutani, and that's going to bring up the DH in Franmil Reyes. Now, I don't want to predict ill will here, but the way this game's going, will he throw a pitch in the dirt, or will he throw it all the way to the backstop? And that would be how they would cash the run. And if it's a under of 0.5, which I'd be surprised, probably more like 2.5, that would be the case. So there's a first pitch fastball that misses upstairs. The count is 1-0 to Reyes. 91 pitches here for the lefty now. Our friend Zay breaking out the pom-poms. as they need a bit of a clutch hit here. Here's the 1-0. Fastball swung on, lifted into straightaway center field. It's playable. Underneath it with plenty of room to make the catch is Akiyama, and that is going to do it. And we are through 5 complete, and we are exactly where we started. No runs in the inning. There was a hit, no errors, and there was a runner left aboard. Your scores were through 5 complete. It is 0-0. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple of moments. We appreciate you guys for hanging in here. We'll take our halftime as well as the time that we need here to get ourselves a fresh beverage. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be back in just a few. Appreciate you for listening on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Music goes on loop. We'll go away and come back in a bit. It is 0-0, and we'll be back in just a couple of moments with all the action as it is the Japanese halftime, as we like to call it. We'll be right back in a few. Welcome back, everybody. It is 78 pitches through the 5 innings of work for Hiromi Ito, and he is back on here for inning number 6. It is going to be Genda, Kojima, and Lin to face him here, as he will be coming back out for another inning of work. He and Takuchi, not particularly been sharp tonight, but they have been a bit like Houdini as they've been able to get themselves out of any difficulties they have run themselves into. So we are ready to resume the action here, as it'll be Sosuke Genda to lead it off here in inning number 6. As our friend Zay said earlier on, or was it Zay, or maybe it was our friend All Rails, which is Tim, who is going to blink first in this one. We're about to find out. As the first pitch on the way is a breaking ball that just misses low, and the count is 1-0 to Genda. Genda's got a single and 2 trips. He's also grounded out tonight. As the right-hander Ito ready to go again. Kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball missing down, and the count now goes to 2-0 on Genda. So 2 balls and no strikes. Ito leaning in, getting his sign, and he works himself into the set position. There's the pitch. It is a breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count now goes to 2-1. So 2-1 on Genda. If you came in here tonight looking for offense, well, you're entered the wrong door, because there hasn't been much of it here. There's a fastball swung on. It is lifted foul into the seats down the left field line, and the count now 2-2 to Genda. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Ito delivers again. Fastball swung on, lifted into deep left field. Moving over at the edge of the warning track and making the catch is Mizutani. Genda retired for the first out of the inning. That's going to bring up the catcher in Taiga Kojima. Looking around the scores around the NPB, the other game in the Pacific League, 4-1 now for the Eagles over the Marines. That's in the bottom of the 5th. Over in the Central League, 1-0 Bay Stars over the Carp. It's at the top of the 6th. And in the top of the 5th inning, it is the Dragons and the Tigers locked at 2s. Breaking ball misses up and away to Kojima. The count is 1-0. Kojima tonight 0 for 2. He has bounced into a fielder's choice and struck out in his 2 trips to the plate. As the pitch is a fastball swung on and is grounded through the 4-hole into right field. And Kojima's got himself his first hit of the evening. A single here, and that'll bring up the DH in Anko Lin. 5 hits so far tonight recorded by the Lions. So Kojima with his base knock here, and Lin coming to the plate. And I look at the hits for the Lions tonight. They have all been of the single variety, no extra base hits. So here comes the first pitch here to Lin. As it is on the way, it is a fastball missing outside, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes it is. Left-handed hitting Lin, waiting on the offering here from the right-hander. As Ito holds himself to the set position. Here's the 1-0. It's a breaking ball swung on, and it's hammered into right field for a base hit. And that could be extra bases. Rounding second and heading to third is Kojima. The throw comes back in, and with a double, Anko Lin, as we, I guess, spoke it into existence, the first extra base hit of the night for the Lions, has put runners at second and third with 1 gone, and it's going to bring Takeyoshi Yamamura to the plate. So the Lions have got something going here in the top of the 6th inning. Yamamura coming to the plate. He entered the fray tonight at 2 for 16. He's 0 for 2 in this one. So he's now 2 for 18 on the year. He does have a homer and an RBI, and that home run came in yesterday's ball game. The infield is in for the Fighters, as they're going to try to cut the run off here at the plate. 87 pitches here for Ito. He's trying to wiggle out of his biggest jam so far in this one. It's the first time the Lions have a runner to third base tonight. Pitch on the way. It is a split finger pitch missing down, and the count is quickly 1-0 to Yamamura. 88 pitches now for Ito. As I was speculating before, I'd be shocked to see him out for the 7th inning. So 1 ball and no strikes as the right-hander ready to go again. Everybody up on the grass. Here comes the 1-0. Pitch on the way. Fastball just misses off the inside corner. Count goes to 2-0. They have the open base, but to be honest, I think I'd rather take my chances with Yamamura here and maybe use that open base for Hasegawa or Canario if they were to come to bat in that situation. So here comes the 2-0 pitch as Ito ready to go back to work. Pitch number 90 on the way. Fastball misses inside. It's now 3-0. So 3 balls and no strikes. If you were a fan of the Fighters in this one, that would have to probably frustrate you. What is going on here right now? So Ito with the struggles tonight. Definitely having issues with his command. I can tell you this, if he was playing in Major League Baseball, this would not be a good thing for him. He would probably have been knocked out by now. Here comes the 3-0 pitch. Fastball down, although they said that Yamamura ran around on it. That's going to run the count to 3-1. That would have been ball 4. So 3 balls and a strike. So here we go. We'll do it all over again here as the pitcher Ito ready to go back to work. Getting the sign from his catcher, and he works himself into the set position. Here comes the 3-1. On the way, breaking ball swung on, chopped up the middle. It's going to get into center field for a base hit. It's 1 run for sure. Here comes the throw to the plate. Are they going to get a pair? And it looks like they will. So a 2-run single here off the bat of Yamamura as the Lions are able to punch a pair of runs across. Both Kojima and Lin in to score, and it is a 2-0 lead now for the Lions in inning number 6. You could just see the water building up in the dam, and the dam, unable to hold all that water, absolutely burst, and that is where we stand now. 2-0 here for the Lions, as it is going to bring Shinya Hasegawa to the plate. Ito has not been sharp tonight. This is not the Ito that we remember from 2026, or 2025, I should say. If he can try to get out of this inning, well, that would be his survival. There's a first pitch fastball swung on and fouled away. Count is 0-1 to Hasegawa. Hasegawa had that 14 pitch at bat his first time up. He has seen 20 of the 93 pitches so far tonight delivered by Ito. So no balls and 1 strike. Again, Ito kicks and delivers. Fastball misses way outside. So 1 ball and 1 strike as Hasegawa finds himself in a familiar position as he's getting a lot of pitches here from Ito tonight. Here's the 1-1 pitch on the way. Breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count now goes to 1-2 on Hasegawa. If you've just joined us, well, They have just punched a pair of runs across, have the Lions to take a 2-0 lead here in inning number 6. As Ito works himself into the stretch position, here comes the 1-2 pitch. On the way, breaking ball swung on, and another one fouled away. This is getting to be a bit comical here. 23 pitches seen so far tonight by Hasegawa. And I just don't think that this at-bat is going to be close to being over yet. So 1-2 strikes as Ito holds to the set. And here comes the pitch. Fastball swung on. It is lifted down the left field line, foul. Giving chase is Gunji, as is the shortstop Yamagata, but it's going to hit the netting. It's going to keep the count at 1-2. Of course it is. 24 pitches now here. Seen by Hasegawa in this one. So Hasegawa waggling the bat, waiting on the offering here from the righty Ito. As Ito trying to get himself out of this inning. Here comes the 1-2. Pitch on the way. Fastball swung on, and another one line foul down the left field line. Count remains at 1-2 to Hasegawa. So 98 pitches thrown tonight, 25 to Hasegawa. Crowd is cheering here as they're on their feet. Lions looking to add another run here if they can, as they find themselves up with a 2-0 lead. Here comes the pitch. Fastball swung on, and another one fouled away. Count remains at 1-2. It's almost like he knows it's coming. This is going to be the 8th pitch of this at bat coming up. I don't know if you guys find it as comical as I do, but I think this is unbelievable. So as Ito nods in agreement with his catcher, now here comes the 1-2 pitch again. On its way, fastball swung on and fouled away into the feet of the hitter. 1-2 it remains. This is going to be the 9th pitch of the at-bat. Unreal. No doubt he's seeing the ball well here against the righty Ito. So 1-2 strikes. As Hasegawa waggles the bat yet again. Amazing how that is against some pitchers. And now he steps off, does Ito, and he feigns a throw to first base. So 1-2 it is as the right-handed hitting Hasegawa waits. Righty holds himself to the belt, and here comes the 1-2. Pitch on the way. Fastball swung on, lined into left field. It's going to get down for a base hit. Over to pick it up is Mizutani. Stopping at second is Yamamura, and Hasegawa, he's going to win this one. They base it single to left field, and that is going to bring up the right fielder and Alexander Canario. That is some hitting here tonight by Hasegawa. Well, that is going to bring Canario to the plate. He is 1 for 2 tonight in this one. He's got a single in 2 trips. Runner at second is Yamamura. Runner at first, Hasegawa. Ito at 101 pitches now. One would have to think it's his inning to get out of. So the runner, 2 runners aboard here as Canario steps in, batting .208 on the season. As the right-hander Ito holds to the set. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball, waved at and missed. The count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. Lions smell blood, and they're looking for more. I have to be honest. If I was picking the game tonight, I would have been leaning toward the Fighters with Ito on the hill, but very disappointing tonight watching his effort. Here's the 0-1. Breaking ball swung on, grounded softly to short. They go to second for 1. Back to first. That's going to be an inning-ending double play. It's going to go in the books as a 6-4-3 variety, and that will do it here for the Lions in their half of the inning. Well, the Lions, they got 2 runs in the inning on the benefit of 4 hits. There was no errors, and there was 1 runner left aboard. Their score as we move to the bottom of the 6th inning, it is a 2-0 Lions lead. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple of moments with all the action. I got to go get myself a refreshed beverage. We'll be back here to bring this one for you in just a few. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be right back. Bottom of 6, just around the corner. Welcome back, everybody. We have a 2-0 scoreline here for the Lions over the Fighters. As I have had to go refresh my beverage. And we are back in the saddle here. We just got to update our ticker as such. A 2-run single off the bat of Takeyoshi Yamamura has them out in front. That is where we stand here as we move ourselves to the bottom half of inning number 6. It is still the starter, Takuchi on the mound, and the first pitch breaking ball delivered to Yugi Gunji is taken for a called strike, and the count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. Lefty delivers again. There's a fastball swung on. It is lifted into right field. It's going to get down for a base hit. And that is going to put Gunji aboard. And so this game here is slowly coming to life. Well, I'm kind of curious to see how this is going to work out, because sometimes when the pitcher, I know he's up and throwing in front of the dugout, but he hasn't had to have any game pitches. How he's going to be able to respond. That was a long inning for the Lions in their half of the 6th. So that is going to bring Chusei Minami to the plate. Minami tonight officially 0 for 1. He flew out to right field, and he has walked in his 2 trips. He's seen his average drop to 262, but he's got the 7 homers and 14 runs batted in this year. So Minami waiting on the offering from the lefty who delivers. It's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike to the right fielder of the Fighters. I like a lot of things Minami does. I don't know if he would project to be a major league player. There's a fastball swung on. It's lifted down the right field line. Count is 0-2. I just get the feeling when I watch him play that I just don't know if he's going to be able to, how quickly he would be able to make adjustments to major league pitching. That would be my beef with him. And maybe also a beef of why he's not on the national team. You would think that maybe he would get a look-see at some point. There's a breaking ball, at least with the A team. I mean, he has played internationally before for Samurai Japan, but sometimes it's been what I call on the B team. So 1 ball and 2 strikes as the lefty ready to deliver. There's a fastball swung on, but it's cued off the end of the bat, foul over on the first base side. 1-2 it remains. So the lefty ready to go back to work again. As the lefty ready to deliver. Here's the pitch. Fastball misses outside, and the count goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. And that's the one thing right now, even though the Lions, it took them a lot of work, 4 hits there to get the 2 runs as they throw over to first, and diving back in time is the runner the runner Gunji. It's just, even though it took them a lot of time to put those runs together, really one swing of the bat here could tie it up. Breaking ball swung on, grounded over to third, and it is through the third baseman, and it's not going to be there in time. That's going to be an error. Manami's going to beat it out. Now they got something brewing here to the Fighters as Gunji is safe at second. The ball went underneath of the glove of the third baseman, Yamamura. That I would have to think is going to be charged as an error. The shortstop, Genda, had picked it up, backing up the play nicely. And they almost got themselves a fielder's choice. Just too much daylight between the glove and the ground. So that is going to put runners at first and second. I'll have to see how they score it. But as far as I'm concerned, that's got to be an error to the third baseman. They haven't officially updated it yet, but to me, that's got to be a no-brainer. So runners at first and second, that's going to bring Taiki Narama to the plate. Narama 1 for 2 tonight. He's got a single and 2 trips. He's also struck out and stolen a base. You're saying Narama swinging one of the hottest sticks in the Fighter lineup. He is 13 for 35. It's a 371 average. As the first pitch on the way is a fastball down. Nice stop there by the catcher Kojima. You still haven't made the official announcement on it. Oh, there it is. Yep, it's E5. So Manami reaching on the error by the third baseman Yamamura. So 2-0 Lions in the lead here over the Fighters, bottom of the 6th inning. As the 1-0 on the way, it is a breaking ball swung on and missed, and the count now runs even to 1-1 on Nomura. The Fighters here need to find a way to get something going. As Narama waits here on the offering again from the lefty. As he kicks and delivers, there's a breaking ball swung on and is fouled right off into the catcher Kojima. Like it might have got him on the inside of where the shin guard would be. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. So we're waiting on the offering here from the lefty, and there's a fastball swung on. It is grounded off of the pitcher, and it gets away from the first baseman. They're going to get a run in here, are the Fighters. It was a ground ball right back up off the middle. Narama played pinball off of the pitcher's foot. The ball ended up getting by the first baseman, Hasegawa. And that is how the Fighters are going to get their first run as Gunji comes all the way in to score from second base. Be an RBI single, but we're going to get a visit from the trainer. We're going to have to wait and see as he's doubled over in some pain. And they're going to take him off of the field to go have a look at him as they traditionally do in Japan. We'll get a look at it ourselves. Looked like he took it off the top of the foot. And he's walking off in some visible or in some obvious pain. I'm going to look at that one again. So the comebacker came right back up off the middle. Oh, it got him on the outside of the left shin. That's going to be his push foot, or his push leg, I should say. He's very fortunate he didn't take that one straight on. Looked like it may have got him just to the side, hopefully on the meaty part of the leg, but we'll have to wait and see where that's going to be. So we got a timeout here, and we're going to take a timeout as well. So hang tight, everybody. We'll be back. Our friend Samurai Prayer back in the house. And we've got ourselves a little break here as they're going to check on the pitcher. We'll be right back in just a few. The Fighters have something brewing here. And we'll be back to bring it to you in just a few. Well, everybody, it looks like we're going to have ourselves a pitching change here, as that looks like it's going to be the end of the night for the left-hander Takuchi. We're just waiting on the confirmation of who's coming in. We'll be back in just a couple moments. It is a ball game that has now got a little bit of intrigue into it as the starters are, or at least this starter is out of the game in Takuchi. We'll wait for the announcement, and we'll be back in just a few. You can't make this stuff up sometimes, as we do have a pitching change about ready to happen here. The starter gets knocked out of the game after he takes a comebacker off of his shin. It is going to be Yamagata who is slated to come to bat. We're just waiting for the confirmation of the pitching change. And the runners, and we have to update you as that as well. We do have a right-hander now entering the ball game. It is number 23 for the Lions. That is going to be, looks like Itogawa is entering, and that is Ryota Itogawa. So the right-hander is taking his tune-up tosses. I have to tell you, the way this game has gone, and then, of course, at least in my opinion anyway, it looked like it had the writing all over the wall that the Fighters were in trouble. Well, now they get to the Lion bullpen a little bit earlier, and now that could flip the switch. Not a big, huge fan of the Lion bullpen, as you could probably guess from my tone, but that is the way it goes. It is Shu Yamagata coming to the plate here, as the right-hander Itogawa has completed his tune-up tosses and will be ready to resume the action. He's coming into a very difficult situation with 2 runners aboard and nobody out. As it is, Yamagata slated to come to the plate. So Yamagata, as we said the last time up, he's 0 for the season. He's 0 for 13. He's looking for his first hit. So I guess if you're Itogawa, this is a guy you want to face. But I would have to think that you've got to have bunt written all over this. The runner at second is Manami. Runner at first is Narama. And the next two hitters coming to the plate, Yamagata and Isobata, at least in my eyes, bunt candidates. And that is already what his Yamagata is showing. So he is squaring the bunt. So here comes the first pitch. And now he steps off the backside of the rubber, and walking back to the base is Manami. 2-1 is the scoreline here in the bottom of the sixth inning. Fighters have just gotten a run back. Looks like that we may have a pinch hitter for Isobata as well. So the big boss emptying the bench. There's a split finger pitch that misses down, and the count is 1-0. Looks like looming on deck is number 5, and that in our books, I believe, is Narama, but we'll double check on that. Sorry, Yuki Nomura. Looks like he's moved into the on-deck circle, so keep our eyes peeled there as Yamagata again squaring the bunt. As the right-hander Itogawa works himself to the set. Here's the pitch. Fastball misses in the left-handed batter's box, and the count now goes to 2-0. So the Lions two balls and no strikes. Grab the 2-0 lead in the top of the sixth inning, are about to give it right back here to the fighters in the bottom half. I was saying about weird games. I was talking about the Tigers earlier this week. I think it was yesterday, where they blew a 6-0 lead or a 6-1 lead. And then some really weird things. There were a couple of rain delays in the game, and then the umpire just ran off the field. It was like he had to go to the bathroom or something. Had to change umpires. As the 2-0 pitch, I don't think I've seen that in a long time. And there the ball's bunted, and it's fouled off into the hitter right in the batter's box. Count now goes to 2-1 on Yamagata. So just some weird scenarios in that one between the Tigers and the Royals. And then the Royals took a 9-7 lead. The Tigers ended up scoring 3 in the bottom of the ninth inning to walk it off. Just a crazy finish. So here comes the 2-1 pitch as the right-hander works himself to the set position. The pitch on the way. It is bunted down the third base side. Nice job. Fielded neatly by the pitcher, Itogawa. He fires to first. Great bunt there by Yamagata. It's going to go as a sacrifice, 1-4. He's in the books for the first out of the inning. Manami at third and Narama over at second. It looks like we may have ourselves a pinch hitter here. It's Itogawa. Looks like he is about to face Narama. They're going to get together here and talk about the situation as the pitching coaches come out. It looks like Isobata's night is completed. So if you just joined us, it is a 2-1 ball game for the Lions, bottom of the sixth inning. Runners are at second and third with one gone, and as we said, it looks like it is going to be Yuki Nomura coming in to pinch hit for Isobata. Get that confirmation that it is Yuki Nomura. We'll see if he ends up staying in the game somewhere. And now they'll make their switch. He's hitting .302 on the year with 4 homers and 10 RBIs. So you got the right guy coming off the bench, potentially be able to do some damage. So here comes the first offering from the right-hander, who kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball swung on and missed, and the count is quickly 0-1 to Nomura. So no balls and 1 strike. Our friend Samurai Prayer says the Lions starter is too good today. Well, the Lions starter got knocked out of the game there after Taiki Narama hit a bullet off his shin. So he was decent today, but I didn't think he was particularly spectacular. Here's the 0-1. It's a breaking ball that catches the outside corner for a call and strike. The count is 0-2. Boy, I don't think Narama believed that, and I have a hard time believing it too. It's no balls and 2 strikes. Plate umpire tonight has not necessarily been at his best. So no balls and 2 strikes as the batter Narama waits here. He's got himself in a hole. Runner at third, Manami. Runner at second, Narama, as Nomura waits. And the right-hander kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball that misses in the left-handed batter's box. You might as well keep going out there as far as you can. If the home plate umpire is going to go up with the right hand, see how far he lets you go. So 1 ball and 2 strikes it is. As the righty gets his sign, and now he works himself into the set position. Here comes the 1-2. As he kicks and delivers, there's a breaking ball swung on and grounded foul just past the third base coach's box, and the count remains at 1-2 to Nomura. If you just joined us, it was goose eggs through the first 5 innings. Lions scored a pair in the top of the 6th inning, and the Fighters have got 1 back here in the bottom half, and they are itching for more. And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes to the pinch hitter, Yuki Nomura. As we are ready to go again, right-hander versus the right-hander. And the pitch on the way is a split-finger pitch, swung on and missed. And Nomura down on strikes. He's gone for the 2nd out of the inning. That's a huge strikeout there by the reliever, Itogawa. He's going to leave it all up to the catcher and Yua Tamiya. Let's see if the big boss has got anything else up his sleeve. That was a weird sort of, it looked like it was a split-finger pitch. But it looked like it was the middle finger and the ring finger that had, where he had widened out his fingers. It looks like we may have the end of the night. It looks like the pitching coach is coming out, and Itogawa facing 2 batters, gets both of the batters that he faces. And the Lions are going to go to the bullpen yet again here, with 2 gone in the 6th inning. So we'll make a little pitching change. We'll be back in a couple moments. We'll update our ticker for you here, and we'll be back right after this timeout from our good friend Steve Rademacher.
Hey, where are you going? It's a pitching change. Come on, sit back down. You don't go out there. Don't go get no food or anything. You've got a big decision. Are you gonna throw in there Raleigh Fingers? Maybe Goose Gossage? How about maybe Mariano Rivera or Lee Smith, Dennis Eckersley? Who knows? It's a pitching change. Come on back. You know who I would pick for this? A nice, tall, cool one. There's my pitcher. That's my pitching change. That's a winning combination. Come see my channel. You know, every day is opening day. And according to Bob, I must be in the front row. Blah.
Welcome back, everybody. It looks like it is going to be the left-hander Shinsuke Hara who is taking over. We'll just get the confirmation on that. But Itogawa does his job here. He gets a round of high fives getting back to the dugout. So we'll see how the left-hander will fare here. Just double-check that. But it looks like it is 43. Or is it? And that's exactly who it is. So Number 43, the lefty, as it is going to be Shinsuke Hara coming in. So Hara will take his tune-up tosses, as he will be entrusted to face Yua Tamiya, but we'll have to wait and see if it is going to be Tamiya, or if the big boss might want to go to his bench to get another weapon to come and face Hara. I was just thinking about this the other day. I was like, here we are. It's going to be 2.5 hours plus to get through 6 innings. Still got 3 more innings to go. If I had to go and take a look at the Friday, Saturday, and Sunday games in Japan and how long they take versus the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday games, my guess is the weekend games are a lot longer. Just seems that way. Every time we do games during the week, it just seems like they're 2 hours, 40 minutes, 2 hours, 45. You get to the weekend, 3:30, 3:25, 3:40. You never get a game over quickly on the weekend. That's the way it goes. Well, we have slated to come to bat Yua Tamiya. We're waiting to see if it is going to be Tamiya, but it doesn't look like it. Looks like they are going to their bench, are the fighters. It is going to be number 10. And by our counts here, that is Yushi Shimizu, who's batting 154 on the year, 2 for 13 with a homer and 4 RBIs. One would think, as he is a catcher, that he'll probably go and replace Tamiya. So Yushi Shimizu. And the first pitch is a fastball that misses inside. And the count is 1-0 to Shimizu. Fighters fans trying to urge their team to get another run here to tie it up, or maybe even take the lead. So 1 ball and no strikes as the lefty works himself to the set. Here comes the pitch. On its way, fastball swung on in line, foul down the right field line, and the count even at 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. If you've just joined us, it's a 2-1 Lions lead. Bottom of the 6th inning, the runner at third, Manami, runner at second, Narama, as they are trying to punch another run or possibly 2 across the plate. So Shimizu waiting on the pitch here from Hara, who kicks and fires. There's a fastball missing up and away, and the count goes to 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. The Eagles stretching out their lead against the Marines, 7-1 in the bottom of the 6th inning. Eagles are flying high as the lefty Hara works himself into the set position. Here comes the 2-1. Pitch on the way, breaking ball, taken for a called strike. Oh, I don't think that the batter Shimizu believes the home plate umpire. We'll get a look at this one here. There was a breaking ball that didn't really look like it broke very much. But that doesn't matter. The home plate umpire is the one who's making the calls, and must be right because he said so. So 2 balls and 2 strikes it is. As again, the lefty Hara works to the set, trying to get out of the jam. Here's the pitch. Fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count 2-2 here. It remains to Shimizu. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. New baseball for Hara. We're ready to go through this whole experience all over again. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. And the lefty nodding in agreement. He likes the sign that he's getting. And here comes the 2-2. Pitch on the way. Fastball swung on and another one lifted foul down the right field line, and the count remains at 2s. So the Lion bullpen trying to keep the lead intact here. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Been an interesting game, to say the least. As we said, there's only been, in the ball game tonight, only 1-2-3 inning. There's been at least a runner in every half inning. Here's the 2-2. Pitch on the way. Fastball comes down and in, almost hits Shimizu in the back foot. Count now goes to 3-2. Waiting on deck is Shin Mizutani. So 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 gone here. Runners, well, they're not going to be on the move because it's runners at second and third. Can't force them along anywhere, but they do have the open base if they get themselves into trouble. I think if I am the Lions here, as time has now been asked for by Shimizu, as Hada has stepped off the backside of the rubber. We'll do this all over again. I like to be dramatic in some ways, but the fighters here trying to push another run across, filing themselves down 2-1. So here comes the payoff pitch. Hada kicks and fires. Fastball down. It's going to be ball 4. That's going to load the bases. And that is going to bring the top of the order in Shin Mizutani to the plate. And for Mizutani, he is going to be the 7th hitter to come to bat here in the inning. And for our friends who are the Fighters fans, it kind of makes you wonder if they're going to be able to punch one across here. Well, for Mizutani tonight, he is 1 for 3. He doubled his last time up. He's also struck out and grounded to the pitcher. And just the way this is going, I was saying earlier, I wouldn't be surprised if the game gets tied up on a pitch all the way to the backstop. So bases full of fighters as Mizutani steps in. His average is up to 209 now on the year. As the lefty delivers, there's a fastball swung on it. Is lined over the head of the second baseman, and it's down into right field. Over to cut it off is the center fielder, Akiyama. 1 run's in, 2 runs are in, and it's a double for Mizutani, and he is all excited over there at second base as that is going to give the Fighters a 3-2 lead as he has knocked in a pair. In to score Manami, in to score Narama. Stopping at third is Shimizu. And a 3-run uprising here to answer the call in the bottom of the 6th inning. If you have just joined us, well, all the scoring so far in inning number 6. That was a good piece of hitting there by Mizutani. He stayed inside the ball, went the other way, hammered it over the second baseman's head. The guy who is probably his biggest cheerleader is Hiromi Ito. Takes him off the hook. And that is going to bring Kotaro Kiyomiya to the plate. Kiyomiya today is 1 for 3. He's the 8th hitter to come to bat here in inning number 6. So runners at second and third, 2 gone here. And the Fighters are smelling blood, looking for more. And here comes the pitch from Hada. Fastball taken at the knees for called strike, and the count is 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike to Kotaro Kiyomiya. For those of you who have just joined us tonight, we appreciate you for popping in. As we said, we'll do it all over tomorrow with the same 2 clubs. So no balls and 1 strike as Kiyomiya waits on the offering from Hada. Kicks and fires. Fastball swung on. This ball is going to be lined into left center field. It's down for a base hit, and that's going to get 2 more runs in. Into score comes Shimizu. Also into score is Mizutani. And digging for third is Kiyomiya, and he's going to slide in safely with a triple as he has got himself a pair of RBIs to go with it. So the crowd here just loving it. It is now a 5-1 lead, a 5-2 lead Just how quickly this game has changed. Unbelievable. Another good swing there by Kiyomiya. He also went the other way and stayed inside the ball really well. Took that ball, ended up going all the way to the fence. That's going to bring Franmil Reyes to the plate. Reyes tonight 1 for 2 and a walk. That hit that he had was a double back in the first inning. So 5-2 for the Fighters. As the lefty-handed delivers, it's a breaking ball that misses inside. The count is 1-0. And just as I projected earlier, I was saying about how it is going to be the bullpen of the Lions that would let them down, and that is kind of where we're at right now. They haven't been able to hold the lead. So 1 ball and no strikes to Franmil Reyes. As Hatta holds to the set, here comes the 1-0. Breaking ball swung on, cued off the end of the bat over to the second baseman. Neatly fielded by Takezawa. He throws to first, and Reyes has gone to the ground out 4-3. And that is going to do it here for the Fighters in inning number 6. Well, they got 5 runs in the inning on the benefit of 4 hits. There was an error, and there was a runner left the board. Your scores were now through 6 complete. It is a 5-2 Fighter lead. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with all the action. Number 7 just around the corner, and we'll be back to have it for you when we return after this. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be Shun Akiyama, and then it is going to be Natsuo Takezawa, and the top of the order, Masayuki Kuwahara, slated to come to bat here for the Lions. But a 5-run uprising here in the bottom of the 6th inning has it going here for the Fighters. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in 30 with all the action. Appreciate you guys for hanging in here with us on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be Akiyama, Takezawa, and Kuwahara slated to come to bat here in inning number 7. We're just waiting on the confirmation of the pitching change for the Fighters, as we are expecting that they will be going to their bullpen as well. As Hiromi Ito off the hook there for sure. As his night is over. It is going to be a right-hander on the hill here. And that is going to be number 48. That is going to be Yukiya Saito, who is on the hill. So Yukiya Saito on in relief. As we'll just get the numbers down here. The second pitcher to be used by the Fighters in this one. You have a new catcher and a new center fielder. Look like it is Yozawa in center, and I think it's Shimizu who stays in behind at the plate. We'll get that updated in just a couple of moments. So Saito on in relief, as he is slated to face Shun Akiyama. Akiyama batting from the right side. There's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count is 1-0. Or is that's a pinch hitter? It looks like it's Junichiro Kishi, actually. At the plate, and the pitch is a fastball that misses, and the count now goes to 2-0. That's exactly who it is, Junichiro Kishi here. On to hit for Shun Akiyama. There's a fastball center cut for a called strike. And the count now goes to 2-1 on Kishi. So Lions now going to their bench just as the Fighters had gone to theirs. 2-1 pitch on the way. Fastball misses upstairs. The count now goes to 3-1. All of a sudden, the pitchers have forgotten how to throw strikes. So 3 balls and 1 strike it is as the right-hander works to the set, now delivers. There's a fastball. This is down and away. That's going to be ball 4. As Kishi is aboard with a walk, and that is going to bring up the second baseman in Natsuo Takazawa. Well, for Takazawa tonight, he is 1 for 2. He's got a single and 2 trips. He's also stolen a base. He is now 2 for 23 on the season. So he steps in here with the runner Kishi over at first. That's got to drive you insane as a manager. You just put up a 5 spot. Now you got to put up a 0 on the board to keep your momentum. You walk the leadoff hitter. There's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. And to boot, it's the 8-hole hitter in the lineup. It's not like you're facing the 2, 3, and 4 guys. You're facing the 8 hitter. I always tell people, I go, when the 8 hitter is batting, you're facing him because you can't hit. Fastball swung on, grounded over to second. They go to second for 1, back to first. It's going to be a 4-6-3 double play, as that is going to retire Kishi for the lead out at second. And on the trail side, Takazawa gone for the second out. That's going to bring up the top of the order in Masayuki Kuwahara. And our friend Samurai Prayer says Yukio was playing for the Tigers before joining the Fighters. Didn't have much opportunity because the Tigers have a lot of good pitchers. Yeah, that's what happens sometimes. The Tigers definitely have a lot of depth. Here's the first pitch. It's a fastball swung on and missed. The count is quickly 0-1. It's definitely a strength of the Tiger organization is their pitching. I remember a few years ago when the Tigers had, I think it was 8 international players signed to professional rosters. There was a breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-2. At times they also have money to spend. That would have been when Justin Bohr and Jeffrey Marte and I think Jerry Sands were all over there as hitters. Like they had 4 hitters and 4 pitchers that were under contract. Fastball swung on and lifted foul into the seats over on the first base side. The count remains at 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. We're just looking a little bit ahead for tomorrow as the pitching matchups have been announced. As the right-hander kicks and delivers, there's a split finger pitch, waved at and missed, and that is going to do it as Kuwahara is down on strikes. He's out for out number 3. And an unconventional 1-2-3 inning here for the Lions. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left the board. Your scores, we move to the bottom of the 7th inning. It is the Lions and the Fighters. Well, 5-2 as all the runs have been scored. Fighters have the lead. Lions, well, they're on the short end of the stick, and we'll be back in just a couple of moments with all the action right after this version of Take Me Out to the Ballgame. Welcome back, everybody. Junichiro Kishi will stay in the game and play center field here for the Lions, but there is a pitching change as they are going to the bullpen. It is number 57, Masaya Kuroda, who is coming on in relief. He's going to be entrusted to face the heart of the order for the Fighters. It means Gunji Manami and Narama coming into bat here in the seventh inning. All of the scoring taking place in this game in inning number 6, as it is a 5-2 lead right now for the Fighters. So it brings Yuya Gunji to the plate, who got things going in the 6th inning. Gunji led off the 6th with a single. He's 1 for 3 tonight. Came around to score the first run for the Fighters. Pitch on the way. Fastball misses down and away. Count is 1-0. So a ball and no strikes. Right-hander again working to the set. He kicks. And he delivers. It's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into deep left center field. This ball could be trouble. Back on the warning track. And making the catch up against the wall is Kishi. Oh, Gunji, he sent it a long way, but just not long enough. He's gone for the first out of the inning. It's going to bring up the right fielder in Chusei Manami. Well, for Manami, he is officially 0 for 2 tonight. He has reached base twice. As he has flown to right, he has walked, and he's reached on an error. So Manami is stepping in. The Pacific League home run leader with 7 as the pitch is on the way. Breaking ball swung on, grounded to short. Fielded neatly by the shortstop Genda. He throws to first, and Manami is gone for the second out of the inning, and that's going to leave it up to the second baseman, Taiki Narama. So Kuroda has come in, and all he has done is thrown strikes and get batters out. 5-2 lead for the Fighters in the bottom of the 7th here. And this is going to bring Taiki Narama to the plate. Narama 2 for 3 tonight. He has 2 singles. He scored a run. He has an RBI, and he has a stolen base. He takes the first pitch breaking ball for a called strike. Count is 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike as the right-hander kicks and delivers a breaking ball that gets away from the catcher. Now that pitch there, if you would have asked me, I would have thought that could have been a strike, but that's where the catcher has to earn his worth. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Samurai Prayer says a stadium full today. When they panned around, there's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted down the left field line. If it stays fair, it's going to be trouble, but it's going to just hook foul. Count goes to 1-2. From what we've seen here, or what I've seen here, it does look like the stadium is at capacity today. Good crowd on the weekend. Even when they pan back, there's hardly any places I could see maybe an empty seat. It's kind of a neat looking stadium, especially the upper deck or that third deck, whatever it would be. Well, I don't even know where I'd want to sit there. There's a fastball swung on it, is pop foul. And the count remains at 1-2. The one thing is, though, is I also wonder how far back they are, especially in the upper decks. It just doesn't seem like there's the, in some of the major league parks in North America, there's those overhangs. Well, the second layer and the third layer is back significantly. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Fastball down, a good take there by Narama that runs the count now to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. So the right-hander Kuroda, the 4th pitcher to be used tonight by the Lions. And he kicks and delivers. Breaking ball misses inside. That's going to be ball 3. 3-2 to Narama. So Samurai Prayer asking that question. I would say, yeah. I haven't seen the attendance announced yet, but we'll get to that. I'm sure in another inning or so. Here comes the 3-2 pitch. On the way, fastball swung on. Now the bat flip is in full effect. Is this going to be able to get out of here? Nope, right to the edge of the warning track, and making the catch is the left fielder, Kuwahara, and that will do it here as Norama's gone for the third out of the inning. But he had the best bat flip of the night twice in that at-bat. They go in order to the Fighters. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left the board. Your score now as we move to the top of inning number 8, still 5-2 for the Fighters. We'll be back in just a few right after this musical timeout. Appreciate you guys for hanging in here with us on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Don't forget, we'll be back on again tomorrow night as well. We got a 5-2 lead here for the Fighters. It'll be Genda, Kojima, and Lin to come to bat when we return in just a few. Appreciate you for listening on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Stay with us, everybody. Welcome back, everybody. It's not going to get any easier for the Lions. Seiji Tanaka is on in relief, as he will be the third pitcher used tonight by the Fighters. And he will be entrusted to face Sosuke Genda, Taiga Kojima, and Anko Lin. So Tanaka just completing his tune-up tosses, and we will get back to the live action in just a few. As we said, it is a 5-2 lead in this one, as the Fighters responded with 5 in the bottom half of the 6th inning after the Lions got 2 on the top. And that is where we stand here. Our friend Ara Hamon says, so many homers tonight. Well, not in this game. That must be around the NPB. I haven't looked at the home runs around the NPB. Here comes the first offering to Genda. As the pitch is a fastball swung on, it is lifted down the left field line, giving chase. And watching it into the seats is Shun Mizutani, and the count is 0-1 to Genda. So no balls and 1 strike. Right-hander ready to go again. Kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on and lifted foul down the left field line. Count now goes to 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. Yeah, there's been about 4 or 5 to the warning track. That is facts. Fastball swung on and fouled away. The count remains at 0-2. Yeah, you think about it, probably about 5 balls that have been hit right to the wall tonight. They just missed it. Kept it in the yard. Wonder if they were playing at a different yard, if they would have been gone out. There's a fastball that just misses. I don't know where that was. All of a sudden, Jen Powell showed up behind the plate. We'll look at that pitch again. I know the catcher set up outside, but boy, he didn't have to move his glove, and it looked like that he went across his body to have to catch it across the plate. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Genda. I guess when you're Genda, that is where you get the veteran calls. There's a breaking ball swung on and fouled away, and the count remains at 1-2. Yeah, so many almost home runs. That's correct. Near misses. So 1 ball and 2 strikes as the right-hander again holds to the set. And here comes the pitch on the way. It's a fastball swung on, grounded over to third. Oh, a nice play there by Gunji. He throws to first, and Genda's gone on a ground out 5-3. That's the Yuya Gunji we usually come to appreciate over at third base. Nice play by him. Takes it on the short hop. Able to get Genda by about 3 steps. That's going to bring Taiga Kojima to the plate. And for Kojima, he is 1 for 3 tonight. He has singled and scored a run. He's bounced into a fielder's choice and struck out. As the right-hander delivers, it's a breaking ball swung on and missed, and the count is 0-1. I think I want that one back if I'm Kojima. That looked like it was quite the hanger. As the pitch is on the way, there's a fastball swung on. It is lifted into deep left field. Moving over, there's another one right to the edge of the warning track this time as Mizutani's going to put that one away. Kojima gone for the second out. That's going to bring up Anko Lin. Samurai Prayer says, speaking of almost home runs, an outfield player, which would have been Joe Adele of the Angels, took 3 home runs away in a game last week. Yeah, it was pretty impressive. So Anko Lin striding to the plate. He's 1 for 3 tonight. He's got a double in 3 trips. Raised his season average to 222. And there's a fastball that bounces up to the plate, and the count is 1-0. Yeah, Joe Adele with 3 grabs, and the last one was probably the most impressive. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Breaking ball swung on, chopped over to first, fielded neatly by Kiyomiya. He's going to step on the bag. It's a ground out to 3 for the third out of the inning. And that is going to do it as the Lions go quietly here in the 8th. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left aboard. Your score as we now move to the bottom of the 8th inning. It is a 5-2 Fighter lead. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a little bit with all the action on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. And we are glad you guys could make it in here with us tonight. Much appreciated to have you with us. Your scoreline is 5-2 for the Fighters, and we'll be back in just a few with all the action right after this. Welcome back, everybody. We were just waiting on the confirmation of yet another pitching change as the Lions here are going to continue the pitching parade. It does look like it is number 58 on our hands here, and that looks like it is Yuta Nakamura as he will take over here. This is going to be pitcher number 5. So Yuta Nakamura on in relief. And he is slated to face the bottom third of the batting order, which means Yamagata, Yozawa and Shimizu. So we'll see if that is indeed who will come to the plate here. We are in the bottom half of the 8th inning, and the Lions are definitely going to be in their deepest of the water as they have to try to get about 3 runs to be able to keep this game going. We've seen some strange things happen over the course of the ball game tonight, and you never know what's going to happen. Our friend Hamon says the Angels are having quite a run right now. Yeah, they are. Mike Trout also with 5 home runs at Yankee Stadium in a series, 4 or 5, something like that. There's a fastball that swung on. This ball is lifted into deep right field. This ball could be trouble. Back on the warning track and making the catch. Another one up against the wall is Alexander Canario, as he is going to replace Yamagata, retire Yamagata. On one pitch, we have one away. That's going to bring up the center fielder in Kota Yazawa. That was a pretty good swing there by Yamagata. So Kota Yazawa getting his first at bat of the game here, as he had come in defensively for Isobata. There's a fastball that misses up. Count is 1 ball and no strikes. Right-hander ready to go again. Pitch is a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 1-1. Yeah, if you would do the count on the number of balls hit to the warning track tonight, it is ridiculous. Either they got to get into the weight room and do a few more curls, as there's a fastball at the knees taken for a called strike. The count is 1-2 to Yozawa. Or they just got to flatten out that swing just a hair. Yeah, and you think about it, like even if 3 of those leave the yard, just changes the complexion of this game. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is going to lift it into left field. And sliding to make the catch is the left fielder, Kuwahara. Oh, boy. Looked like he may have lost it in the lighting, just the way that he reacted, but he was able to haul that one in. It was almost an excuse me catch. That's awesome. He wasn't even looking at the ball into the glove. He turned his head at the last moment. I think he lost it in the lights. Well, this brings to the plate Yushi Shimizu, as the first pitch is a fastball taken for a called strike. Shimizu tonight is officially does not have an at-bat. He walked. He came into pinch hit for Yua Tamiya. He did come around and score the 4th run of the game for the Fighters. There's a breaking ball that misses inside, and the count goes even at 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. So for those of you who have joined us tonight for this one, we appreciate you guys for hanging in. The same 2 teams tomorrow night. Breaking ball inside almost hits them. Count now goes to 2-1. We were looking at the starting pitchers earlier for tomorrow night's affair. Going for the Fighters, it's going to be Kohei Arihara. Going for the Lions will be Kaima Taira. Should be a tasty pitching matchup for these 2 teams. Who's going to win the ball game tonight? Well, or tomorrow night, it'll remain to be seen. Here's the 2-1. Fastball swung on, rolled over to short, fielded on the backhand by Genda. Fires to first. That's going to be a ground out 6-3. Shimizu is in the books for the 3rd out of the inning. And that is going to do it here as they go quietly and in order. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left the board. When we come back, it'll either be a great comeback by the Lions, or it is going to be the finishing and the icing on the cake here for the Fighters. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a few right after this. Appreciate you for hanging in on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city. San Diego, baby. I take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's Another Hollis Build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
Well, that's it, right, everybody. We are moving to the top half of inning number 9, and we do have a pitching change on our hands here. Looks like it is Taisi Yanagawa coming into the ball game, but we're going to get a confirmation of that here in just a moment. As he is another pitching change here by the Fighters. Be the 4th pitcher used in this one here tonight. As I said before, it is just one thing, too, I also think is, the bullpens, they ride them in on the vehicle. I do think that both of these clubs here, or at least at this stadium, just takes too long. As they have to get the new pitcher in out of the pen and be able to do it. I just think that might be the case, is that they're just too far away. Well, we go to the top of the 9th inning. That's exactly who it is. It is going to be Taisi Yanagawa on in relief. The 4th pitcher to be used here by the Fighters in this one. So Yanagawa coming in, as he will be slated to face Yamamura, Hasegawa, and Canario. You think about it tonight, the Lions in particularly, they pounded out 8 hits. And the first pitch fastball taken for a called strike. 0-1 here to Yamamura. Yamamura 1 for 3 tonight. He had this single that brought home the pair of runs in the 6th inning for the Lions, as there's a fastball slung on it as pop foul into the seats behind home plate. And the count now quickly at 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. Our Hamon says, how many pitches were thrown by Ito tonight? Ito, if I'm not mistaken, he went north of 100. I'll get that for you in just a moment. As that fastball misses down, it's 1 ball and 2 strikes to Yamamura. I do believe he just went over the 100 mark. It was 103. As the pitch on the way is a fastball that misses down, the count goes to 2-2. And as we were laughing about tonight, what was it? It was 19 and another. It was 28 pitches went to Shinya Hasegawa out of those 103. Unbelievable. Over 25%. Fastball swung on, grounded through the 4-hole into right field past the diving glove of the second baseman of the Fighters, Narama. And it is going to be a single here for Yamamura. He's got a couple of hits here tonight. He entered the game 2 for 16. And he had just as many hits here tonight. He's got 2 for 4. So brings his average up to an even 200. Samurai Prayer says he's rooting for the Fighters because the big boss played for the Hanshin Tigers before going to the MLB. And that is facts. Here's the first pitch. Delivered to Hasegawa, and it's a split finger pitch missing down, and the count is 1-0. Hasegawa was a thorn in the side to Ito tonight. Nothing worse that you want right now is you want to put this game to rest if you're the Fighters. There's a fastball misses down. It's now 2-0. You don't want to bring the tying run to the plate. That would be the worst thing that you could do if you were the Fighters. And now it's going to be a trip to the mound as Shimizu is going to go out and talk to his right-hander. So 2 balls and no strikes it is. Yeah, you got to be a little bit nervous if you're the fighters here. 2 balls and no strikes. Let him swing the bat. Let's see if he can put the ball in play. You got Canario on deck. There's a fastball center cut for a called strike, and the count now goes to 2-1 on Hasegawa. So 2 balls and a strike. The right-hander getting his sign from Shimizu, and here comes the pitch from Yanagawa. Fastball swung on and missed, and the count now goes to 2-2. So whatever Shimizu whispered in the ear of the pitcher is working big time here right now. That was a great four-seam fastball right down the middle. So here comes the 2-2. Fastball misses down and away, and the count goes to 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. Fighters trying to put the nail in the Lions' coffin here. As the right-hander ready to go again, here comes the 3-2 pitch. Fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count now remains at 3-2. Lions need to get another runner on base to make this exciting. Well, maybe not if you're a Fighters fan, but from a standpoint of a neutral, that would be a great way to finish this one up. So here comes the 3-2 pitch as the right-hander works himself to the set. On the way, fastball swung on, popped up. It's over on the first base side. It's playable in foul territory over his Kiyomiya. He makes the catch. It's going to retire Hasegawa for the first out of the inning. It'll bring up the right fielder in Alexander Canario. And so for Canario tonight, he is officially 1 for 3. He's singled, he has grounded out, and he's grounded into a double play. So Canario batting from the right side here against the right-handed throwing Yanagawa. There's a fastball swung on. It is popped up softly over to the right side of the infield, and making the catch easily is Taiki Narama, and that's going to retire Canario for the second out of the inning. So 2 gone here, and it's going to leave it all up to Junichiro Kishi. Well, for Kishi, he officially does not have an at-bat tonight. He walked in his first trip up. He came on to pinch hit for Shun Akiyama back in the 7th inning. So the right-hander Yanagawa trying to finish it off as the Lions are down to their final out here. Mike Cool Hook's still hanging around here. Pitch on the way, fastball waved at and missed, and the count quickly 0-1 to Kishi. So no balls and 1 strike. And the right-hander works to the set. Here's the pitch. Fastball swung on, grounded over to the left side. Diving for it is Gunji. He gets to his feet, and they're going to get him at first base. But you know what? They're going to go and review this one here. And we're going to hang in here on this one. Definitely a reviewable call. Nice play by the third baseman, Gunji. He got up. He threw to first. The ball was high. Kiyomiya had to get up into the air to try to pull it down. We're going to get a look at this ourselves. Instant replay review. Why not take a shot at it anyway? You never know. We'll get a look at the replay ourselves here. Good job by Kishi getting down the line. The throw was up in the air. Yeah. Interesting. The first base umpire at first was signaling safe, and then he came up with the right hand. So they're not going to lose a challenge here. Wonder how they're going to rule this as far as the official scoring is concerned, if they're going to give them a hit on this or not. Oh, yeah, he's safe by a country mile. This isn't going to take long at all. So I'm not sure what they're waiting to see, unless they're making the phone calls to Tokyo. We get a look at the replay again. It's not even close. Only question is how are they going to score it? Is it going to be E5 or is it going to be a single? So here they come, and it's a safe call. So that's going to put runners at first and second, and that is what you don't want, is to bring the tying run to the plate. It's supposed to be Natsuo Takazawa. We'll see what the Lions have up their sleeve here. They're going to bring a pinch hitter to the plate. And it does look like we are going to get ourselves a pinch hitter here as the Lions are going to the bench. This is Takumi Kuriyama. So Kuriyama on the pinch hit. And the first pitch is swung on and fouled away, and the count is quickly 0-1. So the veteran grabs the stick. As he is up to bat here. So Takumi Kuriyama in the hole quickly at 0-1. As the right-hander holds to the set, here comes the 0-1. Fastball swung on, lined into center field for a base hit. And to pick it up is Yozawa, but stopping at third is Yamamura. Over to second is Kishi, a single off the bench here for Kuriyama. It's going to bring up the top of the order and Masayuki Kuwahara. Oh boy, we got some entertainment on our hands here. Bases are full of Lions here with 2 gone in the 9th. Have to say, you got what you paid for. They did give Junichiro Kishi a hit. I don't know about that one, but he got himself a single. Kuwahara is getting high fives as he comes out of the ball game. He'll get a runner for him. As it is going to be Masayuki Kuwahara coming to the plate, who is 1 for 4 tonight. So you got action right to the bitter end. So the pitcher, Yamagawa, gets himself a new baseball. The runner over at first base is number 00. For the Lions, that would be Keisuke Nakata. And Kuwahara stepping in. 25 for 80 on the season, batting .313. 2 homers and 6 RBIs. As the right-hander kicks and delivers, there's a breaking ball that misses down and away, and the count is 1-0 to Kuwahara. They're sure not making it themselves easy here are the fighters. Tying run is at first, the go-ahead run at the plate. And Kuwahara does have some juice in the stick. Maybe not as much as he used to, but he can still put the ball in the seats. Here comes the 1-0. Pitch on the way. Breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count now goes even to 1-1. I remember the first at-bat he had in the ball game where he got called out looking on strikes. Very, very similar type of pitch and location there. So no balls and 1 strike it is. That was a split-figure pitch that looked like a breaking ball that held up in the zone. I think if Kuwahara had that one back, I think he would take it. So here comes the 1-1. Pitch on the way. Fastball misses down. It's now 2-1 to Kurihara. Tying run over at first base. Go ahead run at the plate. Fighters fans looking on emotionally, hoping they can finish this one out. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. On the way, fastball misses outside. It's now 3-1 to Kurihara. Well, it's not getting any easier here for Yanagawa. So 5-2 lead here for the Fighters. Top of the ninth inning. Bases loaded. 3 balls and 1 strike to Masayuki Kurihara. As the right-hander again holds to the set. Now delivers. Fastball swung on. It is lifted down the right field line, but it's slicing into the seats. It's going to make the count now full. So you're going to have runners in motion here. Boy, you could get a ball into the gap with everybody running. Could be a tie game here. Our friend Mike Cool Hooks. He's wondering what is going on here, and that is for sure. So here we go. Bases loaded. 5-2 the scoreline. The right-hander holds to the set. 3-2 pitch on the way. The runner's on the way. Fastball swung on and lifted foul into the seats, and it's going to keep the count at 3-2 to Kurihara. Once this game is over, if it ever ends, we'll give the full recap of this one, as well as the out-of-town scoreboard, and then we will call it a night. But the Lions are not dead yet. It'll be the 24th pitch of the inning by Yanagawa, as the right-hander works himself into the set position. Here comes the payoff pitch. Kicks and delivers. Fastball swung on, and another one lifted foul into the seats over on the first base side, and the battle is going to continue. 3 balls and 2 strikes. I think if I was a Fighters fan, I wouldn't have even stayed for the last inning. I would have just got up and left. Because A, your team is winning, and B, I want to see the alternative in the event something strange happens. So 3 balls and 2 strikes as the right-hander Yanagawa ready to deliver here to Masayuki Kurihara. Bases loaded, 2 gone, top of the ninth inning. As the right-hander ready to deliver again. It's been entertainment here tonight. As the right-hander holds set, here's the 3-2. Runners on the move. Fastball misses down. It's going to be a walk, and it's going to be an RBI here for Kurihara. In to score comes Yamamura. That cuts the scoreline to 5-3. Over to third is Kishi. Now the tying run is moved into second base, and that is Kuriyama. That is going to bring the veteran Sosuke Genda to the plate. Oh, boy. So Genda, base hit here for Genda could be enough to tie the ball game. They're going to have to move that outfield in a little bit shallow. If there is a base hit, you got to try to gun him out at the plate. Well, the big boss here is looking at not very impressed. Base is full of Lions. Sosuke Genda at the plate. Can he be a tough out here for the Lions in this one? As the right-hander Yamagawa ready to deliver. Pitch number 26 of the inning. Fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. Oh, Genda, that was right down the middle. But in fairness to Genda, it's not like Yamagawa has been good tonight. So 9 pitches for balls so far, at least by our count. Pitch on the way, fastball swung on and lifted foul. That's now 0-2 here to Genda. So Genda in the hole as Yanagawa way ahead in the count. But this is where Genda gets tough. He is able to flick the wrists, able to spoil pitches. He can keep the ball in play. So it looks like they're going to fan out the outfielders down the left field line. Looks like they move Mizutani over to the foul line side. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball, take it for a called third strike. Genda stood there like the house by the side of the road. He watched it go by for out number 3, and that is going to do it here in the 9th inning. They had a run in the inning on 2 hits. There was no errors, and there was 3 runners left aboard. Your final score is the Fighters with a 5-3 victory over the Lions, the same score as yesterday. We'll be back in a couple moments to wrap this one up for you on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Stick around, everybody. We'll be right back after this.
Well, you got to have an ace in the hole, a little secret that nobody knows. Life is a gamble, a game we all play, but you've got to save something for a rainy day. You've got to learn to play your cards right if you expect to win in life. Don't put it all on the line for just one roll. You've got to have an ace in the hole. Yeah.
Welcome back, everybody. We're going to wrap this one up for you, give it the finals, and then call it a night. Well, if you joined us in the first 5 innings, it was not much action, 0-0 through 5. In the top of the 6th inning, the Lions opened up the scoring. With 1 out, they had a single by Kojima and a double by Lin. And then up stepped Takeyoshi Yamamura. He delivered a 2-run single to give the Lions a 2-0 lead. But the Fighters answered right back in the bottom half of the inning. A leadoff single by Gunji. After there was an error made by the third baseman of the Lions, which would have been Yamamura, to allow Manami to reach base, Taiki Narama singled home the first run for the Fighters that made the scoreline 2-1. After a sacrifice bunt by Shu Yamagata and a strikeout by Yuki Nomura, and that left runners at first and second with 2 out. And it was Yoshi Shimizu coming up the pinch hit. He walked. Then it was Shin Mizutani delivering a 2-run double. That made the scoreline 3-2 for the Fighters. And then it was Kotaro Kiyomiya hitting a 2-run triple. And that made the scoreline at that point in time 5-2. Well, the Lions made it interesting in the 9th inning. Leadoff single off the bat of Yamamura. After a pop-out to first and a pop-out to second, or a soft line-out to second, a single by Junichiro Kishi, a single off the bat of Taisi Kuriyama loaded the bases. And then it was a bases-loaded walk to Masayuki Kuwahara that made the scoreline 5-3. That is where it ended when Sosuke Genda struck out looking to end the ball game. Again, your final score, 5-3 for the Fighters. Just a quick peek at the out-of-town scoreboard before we wrap it up and call it a night. Out-of-town scoreboard, 9-1, the Eagles beat the Marines. Other game, the Bay Stars have just finished that match, and they have beat the Carp 7-2. The only game that is currently going on is the Tigers with a 4-3 lead over the Dragons. That's in the top of inning number 9. All other games will go off a little bit later tonight, and that would be the Swallows and the Giants, as well as the Hawks and the Buffaloes. Once again, everybody, appreciate you for being here tonight. Samurai Prayer, we thank you for hanging in here as long as you have. My cool hooks, not the same without you. Everybody else, Harrison, our Hamones, appreciate you guys for checking in with us tonight. Of course, Zay was here as well as our Filipino friend and others, not to mention Tim and All Rails. Have a great night, everybody. We'll see you again tomorrow night. Earlier start, 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight if you're on the East Coast. Hopefully you could join us.